All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Mack and Black podcast. I am Black, also Negro, Nick Russell. As you see, Mack's not here. The lucky son of a gun is in New York, where I should be at, but I'm holding it down solo. But I'm not by myself. Today we have a very special guest here from the Rolling Meadows High School football program, Mr. Matt Mishler. How you doing today, sir?
Doing fantastic.
All right. Yes, Mike was talking to us about a couple weeks ago. He was like, man, we really want you should come out, check out the game. I went to the game yesterday, realized that it was the class of 1989 being honored, 30-year high school reunion for some people. However, if we focus on the game, you guys beat Wheeling yesterday pretty handily, 63-14. Tell us a little bit about that game. And we'll go into the Hersey game, but tell us a little bit about the game yesterday against Wheeling.
Well, I think for us, it was just we really focused during the week about just getting better at the things we need to get better at individually. Right. And then, that obviously makes us better as a team. And that was kind of our focus going into the week and just making sure we're kind of working on some of our techniques and fundamentals. And I thought our guys went out and executed really well last night.
Yeah, I noticed that, when I got there, when I got to the game yesterday, it was 7-0. I'm like, okay, it's close. Then Mike and I went to the other side of the field. Next thing you blink, bam, it's 21-0. And then we go to the other side and bam, it's 42-0 at halftime. And the question I want to ask you is, when you're beating a team like that going into halftime, what do you say to the kids to kind of keep them focused? Because I feel like it's real easy for them to kind of laugh. They're like, oh, well, this game's in the bag. They're not coming back. We got them outmatched. So what do you say to the kids to keep them focused so that, like, you kind of almost don't want to blow them out to embarrass them too bad, but you don't want them to laugh too bad too?
Yeah, well, for us, it was an opportunity to get those guys that don't get to play a lot on Friday nights and that service our guys all week in practice and take a beating sometimes in practice. It was an opportunity to get those guys out there. So it keeps our ones healthy, and then it also gives those guys a great opportunity to play under the lights on Friday night. So for us, it was kind of, talking to our guys that did play in the first half about being energetic on the sideline and supporting those guys that support them all week. And, it was fun getting those guys in the homecoming game, and they got some scores. And, so for us, that's kind of what it was about.
Right. So going into the game on Friday, you guys are playing your rivals in Hersey. And I know I talked to you a little bit earlier because I was doing a little research on it, on the game. Because Mike was telling me this is like their biggest game. This is like the big game. So going back to 2017, and I talked to you earlier, you guys lost them twice, once in the regular season, once in the playoff. 21-20 in the regular season and 28-6 in the playoff. But then you guys come next year. I'm assuming you guys come into the game 9-1. They're coming into the game 8-1, and then, 9. So both of you guys are 9-1. You guys beat them 38-35. Now you guys both gonna go into this game undefeated. So it's gonna be crazy. It's in Hersey. It's gonna be crazy. So again, what do you tell? Because the kids are gonna come out. They're gonna come strong. Sometimes it's almost like if you watch a wrestling match and you know that the guys are too hyped up and like maybe they're trying too hard on the moves and they don't come out as crisp. And I know that when you're going into a rivalry game, the kids are going to come out. They're going to want the 75-yard scores, and they're going to want the 75-yard runs and the 50-yard passes and 8 sacks on the first drive and stuff. But how do you calm the kids down and say, look, I know this is a big game. Let's stay to the plan. Let's execute the offense so that we're not in quicksand and trying to do too much too soon.
Yeah, I think that's a big concern, to be honest with you. You never want them playing tight, and that's the biggest concern when you're playing a big game like this. So I think our focus is going to be on making sure that they understand what a blessing it is to be in a game like this. There's a lot of teams that are playing for nothing next week, and we get to play this huge game, and it's really going to be about making sure they enjoy it.
Right.
This is an opportunity to play in a game, and the atmosphere is going to be electric. It's a rivalry we've had for several years now with Hersey, and I think it's going to be about preparation this week. So we got to prepare really, really well this week. but we also got to understand that this is a blessing, and we need to have fun. And I think if you're out there having fun, then you that relaxes you a little bit.
Right.
You tend to not be so tight. The other thing is making sure that we're not focused on the outcome of the game.
Right.
The scoreboard will take care of itself if you prepare properly and you execute properly. The scoreboard will take care of itself. Better team will win. So I think if you just worry about doing your job on each play, then and you're not worried about the end result, then I think that kind of mellows you out a little bit and focuses you on the task at hand. So for us, it's a next play mentality.
Right.
The only thing that matters is the next play.
Right. Now, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, because I just mentioned the records going, from 2017 to now, because in 2017 going into that Hersey game, I think you guys were like 6-5 after it was over with. Last year, you come into 10-1. Now you're undefeated. Like what have you seen? Like almost like the kids are kind of like understanding what you're trying to implement into the program, and you're really seeing the results. So like I'm almost like asking how proud of you of your kids and yourself that you're seeing the improvements from one year to another year, and now you go from 5 losses to 2 losses to now undefeated.
I think we've been blessed at Rolling Meadows where we've had really good players, and our coaching staff does a really good job from the freshman level all the way up, of developing our kids and getting them to understand what we're trying to do on offense and defense.
Right.
And I think that kind of consistency through all the levels kind of breeds the success we're having.
Right.
But I'm really proud of our guys. I think that we've had a legacy there for a long time at Rolling Meadows, and the guys understand that, and they want to uphold that. And
right.
I don't think that can be understated.
Understood. I feel like I need to come to this game next week. I really feel like I need to come because I feel like this place is going to jump. I feel like I need to get in there early because I know I work and then I have to fight the traffic to come up in here.
Yeah.
And if Rolling Meadows was as packed as it was, I can only imagine how Hersey is going to be packed down the street for the big rivalry game. So that game is next week at Hersey in Harlington Heights down the street over here. It's at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Again, it's a battle of 2 undefeated teams. I'm really looking forward to come. I really think I'm going to come out here and check it out. I really want to see it. And I went to Bolingbrook High School, and I know that we recently just lost, and for the love of me, I can't think of it.
You had a tough one last night.
Yeah, exactly. We lost by a point. And then we play Andrew coming up this week. And the reason why, like, our heated rivals when I was coming up was Romeoville, because that's our next door neighbors, and we're always back and forth. But Andrew holds a small part of my heart because the 4 years that I went from 98 to 2001, we never beat Andrew. I remember one year we got smoked. One year we lost because we couldn't kick field goals. One year we lost because we just got smoked out of the water. And then the other couple of years it was the same thing where Bolingbrook was almost so good to where like they almost took Andrew too lightly. And Andrew knew that Bolingbrook were powerhouses, so they came in hungry, and the hungrier ones won. And I know most recently, I think we played Lincoln Way Central at Bolingbrook, and that place was absolutely packed. Like my house is like within walking distance of the high school. I'm just hearing cheering, and I'm just hearing the PA and everything. And my niece who goes to Bolingbrook actually was at the game, and I told her, she was like, I need to ride home. I was like, you can walk from there to the house. There's no way I'm going to get you in that parking lot. So I know if that place was packed, I can only imagine how this place is going to be packed for this big game, and I'm looking forward to it. Coach, I know you're on limited time, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I want to say thank you for coming out, talking about the game and whatnot. I'm going to be there next week. I got to come to this game.
It's going to be on fire. And
again, I'm happy to talk to you, and I'm kind of like excited right now. Just thinking about it because I mean, high school football, it's different because think about it. When people will tell you, like, let's look at basketball for a second. People will tell you that they love college basketball more than they love NBA because they feel like the fans, there's more passion in it. It's the same with college football to an extent where people love the NFL, but there's people that love college because there's maybe more intimacy and people love it, for the love of the game. I feel high school is kind of on that same level where, yeah, you got those few programs that, they're not as good as some of the powerhouses. But when you look at some of these powerhouse teams, like yourselves, like Hersey, like, Bolingbrook's been for a little while, like some of these other programs, and you notice that they're coming to these big games, there's an atmosphere that can be, we could talk about Bears-Packers till the cows come home, but sometimes Bears-Packers in the 65,000 that might be at Soldier Field, it's a little different than maybe like Hersey, Rolling Meadows, and the hundreds and hundreds of people that are going to be at this game. But you can almost feel the excitement especially when it's a rivalry between the two teams.
Well, I think so many people played high school football, right? So many more people played high school football than NFL football, and people have a tie to their high school, and just it. The people that have been fortunate enough to play high school football, they know that it's some of the best times of your life.
Right.
And we tell the kids that all the time, like, don't take it for granted.
Right.
You'll never forget it.
That's right.
Anybody that's played, I guarantee almost anybody that's played high school football, they're best friends to their old played high school ball with them.
They have stories for days too. Yeah.
And in games like this, that's where many of them come out. And it's, it's unlike anything else, really.
All right. Well, I look forward to see you next Saturday.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Friday. I'm sorry. And good luck to you guys. Hope you guys be Hersey.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. So that's head coach Matt Mishler of Rolling Meadows here in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. For those that are watching the show and not from the Illinois area. And you go ahead. You go
okay.
Ahead. Yeah,
great.
you go ahead. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, guys, we got a whole lot on the tab tonight. We got the Yankees taking on the Astros. As you can see, I'm in all blued up. This is the official good luck outfit for the New York Yankees for me, because I wore this when I was in I'm gonna share the show while I'm talking to you guys. I wore this when I went to New York and watched them play the Indians, and
dead air.
Yeah, I know, my bad. I'm being distracted by this one moron. Hold on a second. So I noticed that oh my God, what I said. Oh, so when I wore this to New York and played the Indians, they won. I wore this yesterday to watch the Yankees play the Astros, and they won. So now I got to wear this one more time because the Yankees, Game 6 tonight, Battle of the Bullpens, it looks like. Chad Green starting off. You got Peacock starting off. I am so excited for the game right now. I am sharing the show as we speak. What's up, Steven? I see you. Go ahead and share this out to everybody. I'm live. We are live here at Rep's Place, by the way, 3200 Kirchhoff, right here in Rolling Meadows. If you didn't just check it out, just had a great interview with head coach Matt Mishler. We're going to have another guest come in here, probably in another hour. One of the founders of the Pee Wee football program here in Rolling Meadows is going to come. We're going to talk to him for a little bit, talk to him about his story and whatnot. Very looking forward to that. And then maybe the owner, Mike Reppe, will come in. In the meanwhile, we're going to talk a lot of baseball and whatnot, so I'm looking forward to it. Again, Mack's in New York. That'd be funny because you would think it would be the other way around, but it's not. Mack's in New York. I'm here. Yes, I'm here. So get into a little baseball action. If you guys haven't heard or haven't noticed, my boy Giancarlo Stanton is not in the lineup today. I'm not sure if it's because he's just not playing. I'm not sure if it's because he's hurt. I'm seeing people saying, go Stros, go Astros. Yeah, I don't know about all that. You know what? I do want to share this to someone in particular. Let me see if I can find him because I want him to. So I deal with fake Yankee fans, and I deal with fake Yankee fans, and I know one that is in particularly supposed to be watching the show today. And I want this guy to take notes. Yeah, I'm starting off the show taking shots because I want this dude to actually take notes on how it is to actually talk about the New York Yankees. You know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, Nick, why do you give him the time of day? Because I hate fake fans. I really do. I hate fake fans with a passion. This dude's trying to clown. He's not even watching. Freaking moron. Oh my goodness. So yeah, dude, I am once again not able to do. There we go. All right. So as I said, game 6 tonight, Yankees, Astros. The Yankees, the New York Yankees are playing the Astros. Yeah, dude, I swear I hate fake fans. Excuse me. Steven, if I know you're watching, see if you can find that moron and have him come on here. See if you can share the show and have him come on and watch, and he can actually see what it's like to actually talk sports, you know, how you're actually supposed to talk about them. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous for this game, but I think this game can play into the hands of the Yankees if the New York Yankees get ahead early. I think in the Yankees case, oh, he is on here. All right. Shockingly enough, the fool is here. All right. Anyway, I think if the Yankees get ahead early, because Chad Green's going to start, I feel like Chad Green's probably going to go at least a solid 2 innings. If the Yankees get anywhere between a 3 to 4 run lead, I do feel that Jay Happ is going to pitch a lot of innings, because I think because I know that this is going to be because I know this is going to be a bullpen day for the Yankees. The Yankees do have some long inning arms in the pen. Remember, Jonathan Loaizaga used to be a former starter. Jay Happ is a starter. So they kind of got some arms. But again, the Yankees, in my opinion, the problem with New York, and they kind of did it a little bit last night, but they got fortunate because they had a really good pitching performance outside of the 1 run that was given up, and not necessarily to the fault of James Paxton, but Gary Sanchez has to block those balls. But outside of the 1 run, the Yankees pitching last night was phenomenal. And the thing that kind of kills me is a lot of people have been killing the Yankees starting pitching, but in my opinion, I don't feel like the Yankees pitching as a whole, outside of potentially maybe game 5, has really been all that bad. You know, they shut out Houston in game 1. They pitched pretty well in game 2. Freaking Ottavino gets up the home run to George Springer. That wasn't any good, but they played well in game 2. They played well in game 3. Game 4, they more or less struggled. And in game 5, they won, and they only still gave up 1 run in 9 innings. So I think if the Yankees, again, can get out to an early lead, especially when you're on the road, and after Chad Green, because remember, when the Yankees used to do the whole bullpen day, it used to be Chad Green and then maybe another bullpen arm, and then you had Nestor Cortez Jr. that would pitch 4 or 5 innings depending on how effective he is. I think now, because you now have Jay Happ, I feel Jay Happ can be that Nestor Cortez Jr. But because Jay Happ is prone to throwing or pitching home runs, giving up home runs, I feel that you have to give them a sizable lead, so where you're not letting Jay Happ have to be careful. Because remember, in game 2, he's trying to be too careful, left the fastball off the middle of the plate, and then your boy ends up blasting a 3-run home run. And you're not the modern Nostradamus. Okay, stop, dude. You're such an idiot. You're not Nostradamus. Okay.
You got some delusions of grandeur.
Oh my God. Dude, Steve, you have no idea about this guy. Him and I have been going back and forth now for every bit of at least 4 months because he's a fake Yankees fan. This guy claims that he wiped his behind with a Yankees hat. which automatically is deletion for fandom. And now he's coming up trying to cut promos about how he's a Yankees fan. Dude, no one's buying. Nonetheless, though, I really think it's all about the Yankees getting runs. It's all about the Yankees getting runs. So hopefully they win that. That game's going to be coming up here in about 45 minutes or so. We're going to talk some football as well. I do want to talk a little bit because I wasn't here last week. The NLCS kind of came and went. The Washington Nationals, for like the first time ever. You know who the Washington Nationals remind me of? They're kind of like the Indianapolis Colts when Peyton Manning was playing. Remember, Peyton Manning could never get over the hump of beating Tom Brady. And the one time he finally was able to beat Tom Brady, they won the Super Bowl. The Nationals are kind of the same way. For so many years, we have been talking about the Nationals are that team. They're the team that can go to the World Series. They're the team that can do this, and this. And I was always like, I don't really buy it because I feel like every time that they play, they always come up short. You got one time where, my fault. You get that one time where, look at that. You got Strasburg and you had Strasburg and Scherzer and whoever else, and they couldn't beat the Cubs. And then you had Strasburg and Scherzer and someone else, and they couldn't get out the wild card. And it's just, they always come up short. But then they on an error get past the Milwaukee Brewers, and then they end up winning their division series, beating the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the Dodgers, to me, are a very interesting case because for like the third time in a row, the Dodgers have let a team celebrate on their home field. 2 years ago, you let the Astros win the World Series in LA. Last year, you let the Boston Red Sox celebrate a World Series on your field. This year, you go out there and let the Washington Nationals finish on your field, and Dave Roberts is still the head coach. So maybe LA knows something that we don't. Who knows? Very interesting. I don't know if you guys saw the reports, but Joe Madden did sign with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim to be their next head coach. That's not a shock to anybody. Everybody knew that he was going to be the head coach. They know that he had so many ties with the Los Angeles Angels for what was like 30-something years or something crazy like that. So we saw that. And I want to say thank you to Matt Mishler, man. He's real cool dude. Like I said, I went and saw the game yesterday, and they were just dominating Wheeling. I think this game next week's going to be crazy. From what I've read and from what I've gathered from Matt, asking him what research I did on it, this sounds like this is going to be a crazy game. So if you're in the Rolling Meadows area, man, go out and support the team. I think that's going to be a crazy game. Next Friday, Hershey's undefeated. Rolling Meadows is undefeated.
Yeah, and I wish he had more time. I know he was kind of we were running a little behind. So
right.
Next go around, we'll definitely have him back on.
Most definitely. Most definitely. We'll most definitely do that. But yeah, no, cool dude. I'm glad he came out and talked. And then, like I said, we're going to have, I got his name right here. We're going to have Terry Cappelen. He's going to come in probably in the next, I don't know, 45 minutes or so,
like that.
Half hour or so. He's going to come in and we'll talk with him a little bit. I guess Terry Cappelen resurrected the Pee Wee football program here in Rolling Meadows. So to all the Rolling Meadows fans that are watching the show, check that out. That should be a really good interview. And I heard he talks other sports as well. So we'll talk other sports as well with him for a little bit. And then maybe we'll get Mike to come in. Mike and I went to go watch the game yesterday, and we engaged in another 30-minute wrestling conversation, which, by the way, look out in February. We might get that show going because we were going to do it on Wednesday, the wrestling show, but we'll be going up against NXT and AEW, so it doesn't make sense. And then I do Arch Rivals on Tuesday, so that's tough. So we'll wait till I'm done doing Arch Rivals, and it'll free up a little bit of the schedule, and then we'll get that going. But I'm looking forward to that because, as a matter of fact, by the time we get that show going, WrestleMania will be right around the corner.
Yeah, so what we were going to do, what was it? We were going to do heavy metal and wrestling?
Heavy metal and wrestling, because I listen to heavy metal and I watch wrestling. So most definitely we're going to do that. I'm looking forward to that because we're supposed to do maybe an hour and a half show, but the way Mike and I talk wrestling, bro, we're going to need a legit clock.
Well, that's why we need more than the 3-hour show that we're doing right now.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys can go on and on and on.
Exactly. So, yeah, man, right now, guys, I'm just kind of shooting the breeze with everybody. We're talking a little baseball. Steve, you're right. He started in Anaheim. I think that was 30 years ago or some crazy number like that. But that was probably the best match between those two. The Mets, I want to talk about the Mets because I had heard this coaching search for the Mets are going to be very interesting. Let me say this real quick. It's one of the reasons why I love doing the show by myself, because I don't feel like when I see comments, I could stop on a dime, and I hate interrupting Mack when he's in the middle of saying something, and I have to stop to reply to the comment because it's so dumb. But this dude Derek on here, and I have nothing. I want him to be on here because he's actually watching what a podcast is supposed to be like.
Yeah.
Your wrestling talk is not great. I can already see it. This man cuts wrestling like promos when he's talking about the Yankees. They're so dumb. I wish I could share some of these videos sometimes. They're absolutely nuts. Nobody makes sense. Nobody buys anything he says. You
have to have some sort of anti-hero, though, you know? I mean, you're only as good as your haters, right?
Oh, that's why, look, normal shows and normal podcasts, we got to throw this guy out and block him out. I want him to be on here. That's what you call it.
Let's get him on. Next time we could do a call-in show. I mean,
yeah.
We'll
and this man, look, I've been watching wrestling for a long time. I'm not going to say I've been watching wrestling since 3 because I can't remember a lot of stuff I did when I was 3 years old. I can tell you since I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, I can tell you the exact moment when I knew I was a wrestling fan. I used to go to church. Well, I shouldn't say my family used to go to church religiously when we were little. Well, one day my dad was getting me set up for church and I'm looking at the TV. I said, Dad, what's this on the TV? He's like, oh, that's wrestling. So the first wrestler I ever saw in action was the Ultimate Warrior on TV. And then when my dad started working nights and we didn't go as much to church on Sundays, I got to stay home and watch WWF Superstars, and then I've been hooked ever since. So I'm 36 now, 29 years, going on 30 years, I've been watching wrestling. So,
well, I think it's time for a debate. I think we have to have a debate show one of these days.
We will. We are going to have that. As a matter of fact, he's crying right now. He wants to come on. No, today's not the day to do that. What I'm going to do...
We'll set it up.
We'll set it up. And when we set this up, I want you to bring your A game. I don't want you to bring your wrestling game. I don't want you to bring your brash and brazen and all that other stupid nonsense you say. I want you to bring your A game. And then when I smoke you in the debate, I don't ever want you to claim the Yankees again. Go get the Red Sox hat that I know you have, that I know you wear, and let's end this already because you are not fooling anybody. That's all I'm saying. I love Steven, dude. I love Steven. Steven looks out for a brother. Exactly. Not worthy yet. So I guess SmackDown was last night. I heard they did not put the Intercontinental title strap on Roman Reigns. It's still on Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm not a fan of Shinsuke Nakamura. I've never been a fan of his. So we'll see. But right now, I asked Mike to put the Yankee game on TV. Edwin Encarnacion is in the 5th spot, taking Giancarlo Stanton's spot. Hopefully it works out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little nervous, but I think the Yankees can win this. And if they do win this and it goes Game 7, I'm gonna tell you what, man. If it's game 7, then they're showing a video of A-Rod slapping the ball out of what's his name's hand back in 2004, and then they ended up calling him out anyway. If it goes game 7 is going to be crazy. You're going to have Garrett Cole taking on Luis Severino. Obviously, advantage is probably maybe Garrett Cole, but Garrett Cole was not as dominating as people said he was in game 3. The game 3 it was. I don't think Garrett Cole was that dominating. He walked 5 guys. He was in trouble a lot. The Yankees, instead of moving runners, were too busy trying to hit home runs. Like, I would love to see Didi Gregorius go back to trying to hit the ball instead of trying to hit home runs. I think that's the one thing that kind of bothers me a little bit when it comes to Didi Gregorius. I like him. I think he's a great clubhouse guy. Excuse me. I think he's a great clubhouse guy. I think he's a great, locker room guy. I think he can hit for average. He's come a long way since he was the shortstop replacing Derek Jeter, basically. Trying too hard. He worked with A-Rod, worked on his defense. His offense kind of came around over the last couple of years. We know that he kind of got hurt when it came to the Tommy John surgery. But in the same breath, he's come back. He's kind of hit a little bit, but I feel like he's overswinging. I think he's trying too hard. And I want him just to go out and take what the pitchers are giving you. If you got to go the opposite way, go the opposite way. If you got to go, if you feel like you got to pitch a hit home run. I mean, you almost hit a 3-run home run off of Garrett Cole. It was just 2 feet too short. So we'll see. Looking at some of these comments, I'm being told that Shinsuke was a great wrestler in Japan. I never bought him in Japan. I saw a wrestling match between Shinsuke and Brock Lesnar, and I think it was an ROH sanctioned match, and that match was absolutely terrible. Okay, people hate on Brock Lesnar and whatnot, and that's fine, but I've seen Brock sell some moves that some of the best wrestlers can't sell. I'm not a fan of Jon Moxley because I think Jon Moxley no-sells moves. He no-sold a pedigree one day when he was feuding with Triple H. And then just not too long ago when he did they were doing some kind of table spot when Kenny Omega jumped Jon Moxley, he no-sold the table spot. And people are out here saying how much they love Jon Moxley. Well, I feel the same way about Shinsuke. I saw the one match between Shinsuke and Brock Lesnar. I didn't like it. Brock was way too stiff, not selling any moves. Shinsuke was way too loose, for a lack of a better way to put it. It was just terrible. I'm not a fan of his. I'm not a fan. And when Mike comes on, we can talk about it a little bit. I know he wasn't a fan of his neither. Just not a fan. I'm not a fan. Not a fan. You might want to check your facts on that. I believe Brock Lesnar for a little bit was in ROH. I know help me out. That match was most definitely in Japan. I mean, maybe that match was a one of those New Japan wrestling matches. It was still terrible. Whether it was ROH or not, it was horrible. How about that? The match was bad. Shinsuke Nakamura, once his entrance is done, he's boring. Now you paired him with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is terrible and boring. Just garbage. I'm gonna do my research right now. I'm actually gonna look this up as we speak. Let's see. Was Brock Lesnar in ROH? Hold on a second. No dead air. Sam ROH, OMW. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. I'm thinking of something else. I could have swore I thought I saw a magazine with Brock Lesnar wearing the Ring of Honor Championship belt. I'll double check that later when I have Mike here. I could have swore I saw a magazine with Brock Lesnar wearing an ROH belt. It's around here somewhere. It's in one of those little wrestling magazines or whatever. I'll check it out later. Yeah, dude. We got some. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. I'm not sure if anybody. I'm not sure if anybody has been paying attention, but this whole NBA, New Japan. I'm not New Japan. I got wrestling on my mind. This NBA China thing that's been going on is a total mess. I'm not sure if anyone has been paying attention to what's going on, but I have kind of got like the Cliff Note version of kind of what's happening. And so basically, the GM of the Houston Rockets made some offhand comment about, because, Hong Kong is trying to keep its independence from China. China has now told Hong Kong that they have to operate under Chinese rules. Hong Kong's not hearing that. So Hong Kong and China are kind of like at odds right now. So now the NBA has this partnership with China and all these companies in China. And I'm talking about these partnership is worth billions of dollars being generated into the NBA. Well, this guy, the general manager of the Rockets, comes out, makes this offhand comment saying that he supports the Hongs for them trying to keep their independence. And China got extra pissed. Like, they wanted this man fired. They were like, you gotta fire this guy. He cannot be representing. If we're gonna partnership with you, he's gotta go. Adam Silver first came out and was like, I'm not firing anybody. We in America have this thing called free speech. We can say whatever we want, blah, blah, blah. But now all of a sudden, these sponsorships are now starting to pull back from the NBA, saying, well, if that's how you're going to act, then we don't want to do business with you. Now, all of a sudden, your boys can change his tune a little bit. Adam Silver. So Adam Silver now had to travel to China to try and smooth things over, but he still hasn't lost his job. Then, to make this story even more interesting, LeBron James comes out on Twitter.
That was the big thing.
Says that Buddy was misinformed, and now the LeBron fans in Hong Kong have all burned his jersey and said, piss off, how dare you side with the Chinese, you're dead to us. LeBron James' name could no longer be spoken on. This whole thing is a mess. And the person I feel sorry the most of all this is Adam Silver, because I understand the money aspect. Like, okay, I mean, you're talking about like China's like one of the best economies in the world. Second best economy. Thank you. Second best economy in the world is in China. You're gonna have all these Chinese money coming in, making billions of dollars being generated, because the guy that you're really dealing with, who's kind of the ambassador for the Chinese to the NBA, the link is Yao Ming, the former Rocket center. Right. Which I know he's got to be in the bind because he spent his entire career in Houston, and now it's the Rockets GM that makes this comment, and he's kind of like, damn.
Yeah, that's gonna mess up his jersey sales. That's for sure.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So where it gets like super weird is that, like, now you got Yao in between the rock and the hard place. You got Adam Silver between the rock and the hard place. And you got LeBron that's pretty much dead to Hong Kong, because LeBron James basically is not trying to lose out on this Chinese money.
Well, that's like one of the biggest markets for the NBA. I
Yes,
mean, they love the NBA over there.
Right.
But when they start getting a little crazy with the politics, now they're
Now it's
they'll shut them
crazy,
down.
right? And this is what I was trying to say before I lost my track of thought. The reason why I hate this personally is because I hate when the media asks somebody a question,
Yeah.
and if they don't give the answer that's popular to what the flavor of the month is, they get all pissed off. But I'll give you a prime example. Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is not only like the king or mayor or whatever he is to the Philippines, but he's a diehard Christian. So when they was asking him about gay marriage or whatever, he said, I don't support it. Based on my faith and beliefs, I don't believe in gay marriage.
Wasn't there? I don't know if this is true or not. Wasn't there like a scandal or whatever where there was some pictures of him like doing?
I think they all got debunked. I think that was all false.
Oh, okay, all right.
I think that was all false. But then everyone tried to drag Manny Pacquiao's name in the mud, call him a homophobe and all this other stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. You asked this man a legit question. This man gave you his feelings and answer. He didn't say gays gotta die, they gotta burn or anything. He said, I just don't believe in gay marriage. It's not what I believe in my faith. Oh, you're a homophobe. We can't support you anymore. We can't this and that. And I was like, my mind is so blown. And it's the same thing in this situation where somebody asked this GM of the Rockets, what are your thoughts on what's going on between Hong Kong and China? And he says, I'm with the Hongs.
But wait, did he just bring it up or was he asked the question?
I swear I thought he was asked. I'm not sure if he brought it up or not.
There's a big difference between bringing it up out of nowhere and being asked a question,
right?
Answering honestly.
But I think he was asked by some media that was out there. I think he was asked because somebody was interviewing him, and they asked him, and he was in China. That's the worst part. They was in China because
he did a tweet. Yeah, he did a tweet. He just tweeted about the Hong Kong thing randomly, so he put himself out there.
That might have been what happened.
And that whether you believe in the Hong Kong thing or not, whatever the politics decided. Putting yourself out there is probably a stupid move,
right?
But at the same time, you got to have your opinion. But at the same time,
the way he's looking at it, exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm an American. I say whatever I want.
Yeah.
But you, unfortunately, you can't say whatever you want in China.
Right. That's the difference.
That's the difference. So you get Hong Kong, and they're saying like, oh man, yeah, this man's got our back. That's right, hell right, man. We support you. And you got the billions of people in China like, whoa, bro, who is you?
Yeah.
What are you? It's such a mess. But really now, it's not even about, I feel like it went from trying to protect the free speech, quote unquote, to the money.
Now it's about protecting the money in China.
Now it's time about protecting the money in China, because then the Chinese government came out and they were like, well, we're not going to, they missed out on 2 preseason games that they were supposed to be shown all over China. They took those games off TV, and then they canceled some other kind of event.
A big event.
And a lot of people were against Adam Silver because they told Adam Silver, if the Chinese aren't going to work with you, they get the new, because the Brooklyn Nets were out there trying to do, like they're doing like some kind of basketball, like training camps to kind of bring basketball awareness to more of the Chinese kids that are out there. And the Brooklyn Nets, like DeAndre Jordan was sitting there like, man, like, what do I say? Like, he basically had to give the Miss America answer. Like, yeah, we're excited to be out here. We still want to do our job, this and that, blah, 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 and everything else. Like, think about it like this. The 2 biggest advocates of speaking their name in basketball is Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich. Neither one of them said anything about it.
Well, as a matter of fact, what they did is they interviewed Steve Kerr, or he get it, after the game or whatever he did, and he brought up about he just like brought up guns or something in it. He's like, well, I don't think he got like all political about that, trying to change the subject
because he he ain't trying to be in this same heat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying, that's why I think LeBron James, I think Steve Kerr did the right thing by kind of avoiding the question. Because maybe he sides, I think he low-key sides with Hong Kong too. But he don't want to say nothing because now you can't let the Chinese sponsors be like, oh, so he's going to say something about our country now? Zip. Now everybody's gone. And now the NBA just missed out on all that bread. So he avoids the question. LeBron James comes out and says, and sides with the Chinese. I don't think he sides with the Chinese because he believes the Chinese. He just ain't trying to miss that bread.
Yeah, he believes in money.
Billions of dollars,
he
right?
believes in money.
It's
first.
billions of dollars that's being missed out on. And
which is
so
a shame,
I don't know. Like I said, you got half that's on the political side saying we believe in Hong Kong, and then you got like nah, I believe in this money.
Well, did you see Dennis Rodman just got interviewed yesterday by I think it was Tucker Carlson or something. He was on there, and he was just basically saying, you know, a lot of times he says crazy stuff, but he was like, you know, these guys, they play basketball. You know what I mean? Like, play basketball. Politics has no place in it. They get political every now and then, and things blow up.
Right.
You know, so keep the politics out of the basketball, and things might, you know.
But think about it. We're talking about the same Dennis Rodman who's damn near best friends with Kim Jong-un.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Like if he called Kim Jong-un right now and said, I'm coming to North Korea, can I come hang out with you? I'm pretty sure he'd roll out Kim Jong-un running up the red carpet for him.
They're boys.
So how can he sit here and say something about the Chinese and the Hans when you're best friends with one of the biggest social dictator in all of the entire earth?
I think that the thing about that is he knows so little about politics that he just wants to play basketball. And he goes over there and plays basketball.
Yeah, because remember they said when what's his name was alive, when Kim Jong-il was alive, Kim Jong-il was a huge fan of Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And a lot of people joked that when Kim Jong-il was alive, if you was to send anybody to go and talk to him to see if he could calm everything down, they said send Mike because he loved Mike and maybe he would listen to Mike. And I think they know that. I think, like, because remember, Rodman and Jordan played with one another.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think they knew that. So maybe Dennis comes out and says,
well, that's what he did. Yeah, he was like, hold on. He was like, I'll go over there. I'm friends with him. We're cool. Maybe I'll talk about it with him, you know? So, like, whatever.
This the same Dennis Rodman. Do you remember that interview when they were trying to do the same thing in China, in North Korea, and they brought like 7 or 8 guys with them? And they were talking because there was a guy that was jailed in North Korea for doing something.
Yeah.
And Dennis Rodman comes out, he's like, you don't understand what he did. He did crimes against this country. These guys that were behind him were scared shitless.
Yeah.
Because they're like, dude, we're not trying to die. Yeah. And we're definitely not trying to be put in jail in North Korea.
That guy is the least afraid.
Yeah.
He's not afraid of anything.
He's sitting there because he's like, I got back. But these other black guys like, well, you know, we're just here really to kind of bring a little awareness. Then the guys were scared.
Yeah, they're about to kill you.
Up there running his mouth with all the free press. Come on, man.
He's got to say one thing wrong and off with their head.
or you in hard labor in the Korean jail.
Yeah, you're splitting rocks for the rest of
That's why I think it's funny. That's why I think it's so funny when you look up and you get these guys that are like sentenced to 20 years to hard labor in a Korean prison because you try to take artwork. Why? Do you not watch the news? Like, I don't watch it, but I know enough to know that maybe, just maybe, North Korea ain't the place to be pulling that nonsense.
Yeah, there's a lot of other places that have basketball. I don't know, man. I think it might have been a weird choice to go to North Korea.
Real weird. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about that because the NBA season starts in, what's today, the 19th? In 3 days. It starts in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is first game. We got Lakers, Clippers, and Pelicans and somebody else. So Zion getting put on national TV, and then...
Oh, yeah, there was big news with him. What was the big news with Zion?
I think Zion hurt his knee. And... it's a lot, you know what? I feel like there's a big jury out on Zion Williamson because we know that Zion is a freak of nature. So when he was in high school, the man, I think Zion's like 6'7", 6'8", something crazy. And he's like 270 plus pounds. But the man is extremely fast on the court, extremely strong, has a huge vertical, and will dunk in anybody's face without missing a beat. I think they played the Atlanta Hawks in a preseason game. And then the next day on Fox Sports 1 Undisputed, Shannon Sharp basically said I wasn't impressed. And I kind of understood where he's coming from. But then I'm on the fence because I could sit here and say, oh yeah, look at Shaq. Did they ever ask Shaq to shoot? Hell no. This dude was 7'1", 330, manhandling any center that was balls enough to stay in his way.
Yeah.
They never asked him to take J's. I feel like Zion Williamson is kind of in that same boat. Here's a guy who's 6'8", 270, about 6'6", 6'7", 270, that can dunk, that can block shots. No one's asking him to take shots. No one's asking him to take threes. And I kind of wonder if maybe... I don't know, man. I'm happy with the rookie that the Knicks got. I think R.J. Barrett was the best case scenario that could have happened to the New York Knicks. But all eyes are going to be on Zion Williamson because he's kind of the biggest hype guy that's come out of college or high school, for that matter, since LeBron James.
Hey, what do you think about the curse? Wait, maybe that's football. The Madden.
That is football. We can talk about that. There's no format. It's real because what's the name is hurt.
He just hurt his knee, right?
He just hurt his knee.
Yeah. Who was that?
And Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
And the funny thing was, he hurt his ankle. I think it was week 2. He hurt his ankle. Then it got hurt a little bit worse when they played the Lions. Then it got hurt worse when they lost to. It wasn't Houston. They lost to somebody the week before that. I can't think of who it is because Cameron Irving, by accident, stepped on his foot.
Oh, yeah.
So then it was hurt worse then. And then my buddy that I do the Arch Rival show with kept saying, you guys need to bench him and let him rest because something's going to happen to him. And what are you going to do if he ends up missing the rest of the season? Boom.
Do you think that it's like almost a self-fulfilling prophecy because he's so hot? Like, obviously he's on the cover. Like, do you think it gets in their head? Like, maybe they got to play extra hard to keep up the appearances. What do you think that is?
It could be. It could.
There's got to be something to it because Antonio Brown was on the year before.
Right, Antonio Brown was on it. He got hurt. Ray Lewis was on it many years ago. He got hurt. When Michael Vick went on it, I think he tore his ACL. Brian Urlacher got on it, and he missed a lot of games to his knee. Sean Alexander was on it, and he blew out his knee, and his career was never the same.
Man.
Trying to think who else. Marshall Faulk got hurt when he was on it. I can do this all day.
I know you can.
I'm trying to think who else was on it. There was a few other guys that have been on it, and they've all somehow gotten hurt.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
I think the year Tom Brady went on it was the year that Rodney Harrison took out his ACL in a preseason game. I think that's the year Tom Brady was on it. If that's not it, I know it was the year that Tom Brady got hurt. Even the great Tom Brady got hurt in one of them games. Yeah, that Madden curse is real. But I can understand the question you ask. Could it be a psychological thing?
It's got to be something.
Or I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, it might just be magic.
But don't you find it crazy why John Madden doesn't put himself on there no more?
Oh, man.
You know, John Madden, he's dead.
Yeah, well, he'll get in a bus accident if he goes on it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to ask, what are your thoughts on the NFL possibly having a 17-game season? I don't like it. I personally believe in the thought process of if it isn't broke, don't fix it. There is nothing wrong with the NFL right now. It is one of the most anticipated seasons, like, yes, people get excited for the basketball season. Yes, people get excited for opening day. Yes, some people get excited for the first puck drop of the NHL season. It doesn't hold a candle to the NFL season because there's so much money. There's so much money on, my boy Steven just said I guess Joe Buck's calling the Astros game. Thank God I'm doing the show because I can't stand his ass. But, what was I saying? I was saying, because there's so much money in fantasy, and there's so much money in a lot of other things. The two biggest sporting events in America is the Super Bowl and March Madness. Those are the two most heavily betted on because everyone has prop bets or these little bets or put up big money in the Super Bowl. In the same breath, you have guys that put a lot of money in those brackets for March Madness. Which, by the way, I'm glad I brought that up because more states are starting to pass bills to have these kids
right, they make money
for their likeness.
Make money for their likeness, yeah.
And what is so funny about that is people are like, well, if they're going to get money for their paid likeness, then strip them of the free education. No, that's not the point, dude. You cannot sit here and tell me that a student athlete you cannot tell me that the student athlete, let's take a football player, has class in the morning, class in the afternoon, practice in the afternoon, class study at night.
Yeah.
When is he supposed to make bread?
Right. Yeah, but here's the other thing, though. See, this is the problem with that whole making money and that some states are allowing it and some states aren't.
Right.
Now, what happens is, why would you go to a state where you can't make money? So now you're stacking the teams. So California, for instance, now do you think any of the top people are going to want to go?
Point.
You know what I mean?
UCLA, USC, Fresno State.
So now you're putting money into the equation and you're taking away from the actual game and the education itself.
And I think that's what Tim Tebow, because we kind of brought his name up about a month or so ago.
Yeah. Because
Tim Tebow went on to Sports Center and said the same thing, where his sentiments was like, if you had a guy that was committed to Mississippi, Ole Miss.
Right.
But Ole Miss, Mississippi said, we're not doing that paying the athlete likeness.
Right.
Here comes Alabama that just said, we just passed it. Here comes Georgia that just said, we just passed it.
Yeah.
Here comes the state of Florida that has 4 or 5 teams that said that we just passed it.
So now you're dependent on the government.
Now Mississippi just missed out on a big recruit.
Right.
That can go to the rival in Alabama, could go to the rival in Georgia, can go to the rival of Florida, could just go out of the SEC in general, go to Florida State, because they know that those states are going to get paid.
Right.
But that's where my thought goes crazy, because the NCAA is the biggest hustle in America, period.
Well, why don't they just, of all of the money they make from these games and all the money they make from merchandise, why don't they just pay the players?
That's the whole point.
You know what I mean?
That's what the lawsuit was that first kicked off. That's what kicked this all off. 2 former UCLA players, Charles and Ed O'Bannon, were 2 really good brothers that played at UCLA, were the ones that started this. They saw the writing on the wall. They're like, wait a minute. So basically what they said was they felt like the NCAA was trying to be slick.
Yeah.
If I'm playing with Florida State and I know Jameis Winston's wearing number 5, and all of his stats and attributes completely match up with how he plays in college football, there's no way in hell you're going to tell me that's not Jameis just because you didn't put his name up there. Because where the fine line was that they would just put the numbers and the positions. They never put names. The only time the NCAA would do names is if somebody generated it on their own, or if you did what is it called? Like the I can't think of the name. It's like the franchise mode. They would generate fake names.
Right.
Because the EA Sports and the NCAA, if you put the name on it, now they got to pay the player. Well, the O'Bannon boys, along with a lot of other people, were like, we know what you're up to, and it's BS. And they took them to court 3 times, I think, and the 3rd time they finally won their suit. So that's why EA Sports never came out with another football game since 2014, because the suit came up in 2015 and EA Sports had to stop. But I'm thinking to myself, exactly what you're thinking. The NCAA and EA Sports are making billions of dollars. You gonna tell me that you can't tell the NCAA, or you can't tell these schools, here's a little cut of that check that we just got from everybody buying the game?
Yeah, and the game aside, I mean, these schools themselves, they draw huge sums of money just because of the success of their programs.
Right.
So I mean, the school itself could pay the players, you know what I mean, or let them sell their own merchandise or something like that. Whatever,
right.
You know. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it.
Exactly. So that's crazy in itself. I'm looking at the TV right now. It looks like we are approximately maybe a little under 12 minutes to first pitch. Yankees Astros. It has been an amazing series so far. As I mentioned earlier, Astros up 3-2, and both teams are going with the bullpen session. Chad Green starting off for the Yankees, and Peacock starting off for the Houston Astros. And I think and I mentioned earlier, I think one of the reasons why I'm a little nervous of this game is because the Astros bullpen has actually been really good. If I'm not mistaken, a lot of the runs that the Yankees have scored, especially since Game 2, have come off the starting pitching. You scored 6 total runs off of Justin Verlander, 2 in Game 2, 4 last night. You scored not the 1 run they scored against the 1 run they scored in Game 3 was off a reliever, and Game 4 was off a reliever. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited. And if the Yankees end up winning this game tonight and we go to Game 7, I'm so glad I'm off tomorrow, because this all bets are off. I'm ready. Shoot, I am ready to go. And this game is about to be crazy. So it's going to start up here pretty soon. Again, I'm over here at Rep's place. I wanted to say a couple things real quick. I've ordered some spicy barbecue wings from Rep's over here. As many of you guys know, if you have me follow me on my personal Facebook, I am on the road to 250. As of Monday, I started kind of getting back into the keto diet. I kind of stopped drinking. I've been drinking a lot of water. I've been to the gym a couple days. My quads are on absolute fire right now. And I'm getting on the road to 250. So I got some wings from Reps. These are non-breaded wings. And I'm gonna tell you what, these boys are delicious. These boys are delicious. And this spicy barbecue, because I know for a fact Mike likes Hooters. I know for a fact Mike's like Hooters wings. I know this for a fact because we've been there a few times. I know this for a fact. Terry, go ahead, come in and grab a seat. Yes, sir. No, go ahead, because I'm really right now just straight shooting breezes.
Hey man, I've been watching you all night.
Oh, word, all right, nice. Yes, sir.
Hey,
that's what I'm talking about.
Do that wrestling podcast. I'm in.
You're in? Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, I'm not gonna confront you, Steve. I think I know somebody else that might want to be on it too. Is another friend of mine. We went to the Illinois Center for Broadcasting, and he had mentioned to me years ago about doing a podcast. And at the time, I kind of had stepped away from the game. But now that we're kind of bringing this to light, I got to bring him in. And the reason why I bring this up is they were doing a trivia at a bar in the Darien area, I want to say. I for the life of me couldn't think of what the name is. And they were like, I need my biggest wrestling heavy hitters, and they know I love wrestling.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute, I know somebody else too. I text dude up. I was like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, nothing at the moment. I'm like, hey, there's a wrestling trivia, and we gotta go. He was there, beat me to it. And I'm telling you, this dude is a genius. A genius. This man is so smart that they asked a question about what was the first televised pay-per-view for the WWE. Clearly it wasn't WrestleMania 1. Yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah.
He did. I was like, holy crap.
Oh.
Damn. So yes, this might be a full house on this wrestling podcast, I'm telling you.
I'll give you a little weird tidbit about Rolling Meadows. One of the officers, he's now a sergeant, used to be one of the jobbers that used to get beat up by WWE wrestlers. His name was Johnny Utah. Al Snow was his buddy. So back in the day. Why do I
feel like I've seen him before?
Hey man, he's the generic guy that would go in the ring, get his butt kicked, work the indies, wear the chicken soup matches and all that stuff. So,
currently in the ring, weighing in at 217 pounds, Johnny Utah.
That's it, man.
Next
and he's a Meadows sergeant now.
Yeah, let's do Sid Vicious coming down the ring.
All right, let's do let's take a little pause for a second. Just a little read. This podcast is brought to you by Hodgepodge, Intrinsic Marketing, and the new podcast, Local Level Podcast, with yours truly. You guys can check out all the shows. It's at the new PodRiver Media channel, PodRiver Media on YouTube. You can see episodes for Boss to Boss with Miro. You can see episodes for this show and also Local Level every week. So subscribe to that. When you get a chance, if you can, stop by iTunes and leave us a review for any of the shows that you like, and we definitely appreciate it. But we're joined now with the Pee Wee coach. It's Terry Cappelen.
Terry Cappelen, yeah.
Right. So, Terry, if you want to give a little bit of introduction for yourself, that'd be awesome.
Look, I don't want to say it was just me. It's been a village that built this program back up. It started with an idea with one of my best friends, John Brickman. Our kids are football players. They're destined to be football players. We didn't have a football program in Rolling Meadows. We talked about it, went to the parks and said, hey, we want to get this started. Couldn't get it started right away, so we had to take 12 kids that we recruited from our baseball and basketball teams that our kids play on. Played in Mount Prospect, went in 11-0, won the championship there, and we built it up to what it is now. In our first year of a organization, 64 football players, 23 cheerleaders, built it up, and now we're playing with Arlington Heights and Palatine. We got a ton of support from Rep's Place, from Matt Mishler. I saw you had Matt Mishler on, Coach Matt Mishler. Him and one of my buddies when I coached at Meadows High School, Bob Meyer, we coached together, and he's the defensive line coach there. So with them, it's just been huge. We built it up to where we're at now, and I can only see it getting bigger. And right now it's a flag program because I think that's the safest way to go right now.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, hopefully, build it into a tackle program, and we'll get there. But we're just happy to bring football back to the city because Rolling Meadows used to have a really good and big youth football program. A lot of great people, a lot of great volunteers. And we're working to get back to that level. So we're really happy that we get to come on with you. We went on with Local Level. We talked a little bit about that. It was awesome. And
that's what's up. Yeah, Mike was talking to me about it yesterday because he was saying that at the time, like a lot of the kids had to go to Arlington Heights and the neighboring cities. And he said, Terry was like, wait a minute, how come we can't have something here for our kids to play?
Yes.
And man, from 6 players to 64 players, that's great. That's great.
You know what? I'm telling you, man, there was one day where we built this team up last year. We had 6 kids and we had 4 kids from another suburb. And those 4 kids quit right away because they knew they had to come practice in Rolling Meadows.
Right.
So that's when we went out and recruited another 6 kids. And one day I got a text from Mike. And he's like, hey, meet me at the bar. We got to talk. I was like, oh, did I do something stupid at his bar?
Yeah.
Show up, he goes, I want to be a part of this, getting youth football back.
Yep.
It's what we grew up with. And from him holding our fundraisers here to supporting our cheerleaders, paying for their shirts, their gym bags, whatever it is, and just being what we need, a local establishment that people can go to.
Right.
I mean, it's not just football, like baseball. We got a local travel team that comes here almost after every tournament win that we have. We come here and we celebrate. And he's been a huge force behind that.
Oh, yeah.
We got great parents. I mean, half my team's out here right now. I couldn't believe it. I walked in and they're all just here. And
Right.
I said, hey, check out Mack and Black Podcast
Yes,
on Facebook and on iTunes
Yes,
and all that
sir.
stuff. I'm about to go on. I'm going to talk about your sons, talk about how great we have it here and what we're trying to build.
Right.
So we appreciate it.
You know, I got to give Mike a lot of praise because, you know, when we were both at Adobe, he was general manager, I was kitchen manager. I can tell that Mike was about that life. You know, he even had admitted before he even came with the idea to open up his own joint, he was like, man, it's just like nowhere to hang out in Rolling Meadows.
That's it, man.
And he was like, I gotta kind of start. So I kind of saw this happening even before it all started to unfold, because like I think the thing with Mike is like Mike's about the kids and Mike's about the community. You know, so when he came to me and Mack, well, Mack's in New York, and he was like, dude, I want you to come out to the game on Friday and check him out. Yeah. I said, man, okay, I'm gonna do it, because I could tell the passion that he had for the community, and how that it could benefit everybody that's involved. So I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna come out and check it out. Yeah. Like, and I was telling Coach earlier, you know, I went to Bolingbrook High School. Yeah. And I know, you know, Bolingbrook's got the flag football programs. Yeah. They got the Bucks. They had the Trojans for so long. Yeah. They got the backing. You know, because Mayor Claire, for what it was, when I was coming up, half of Bolingbrook was all Bolingbrook. Half of Bolingbrook that was closer to Romeoville was Romeoville. Yeah. But then when the new high school came up, Mayor Claire said, everybody's going to Bolingbrook. Yeah. We're not playing this half-half. The only way you could half-half is if you're a junior and you choose to stay in Romeoville, fine. Right. Freshmen and sophomores, you have no choice. Yeah. So he kept all the money in the community, kept all that in there. So, you know, you get places like, you know, I'm just going to name drop a little bit, but like Tailgaters and, you know, a few other places that's in Bolingbrook, they would do the same thing here. And you know, Mike has also mentioned a lot, you know, him and I, we always talk. When he would come in and work and we had that little hour where nothing's going on, we're talking sports, we're talking wrestling, and on all kinds of other stuff. So I was like, I got to come out. So I checked out the game yesterday. Yeah. Straight blowout city. Yeah. The kids looked amazing. Rolling Meadows did. And then he told me about you. He's like, I want you to get Terry on and talk about, you know, the football program. I was like, man, anyone that wants to come in here and talk, you can come in here and talk. That's why I want this show to kind of really be about. Because don't get me wrong, like, look, people would think I'm nuts to drive. I work in Downers Grove. I live in Bolingbrook, but I drive to Rolling Meadows to come do a show. But I love doing the show. Hey. And if this is the city where I'm going to do the show, then how about let's get some guys for some, you know, some local people that do watch this. Yeah, I got friends in New York that watch. I got friends in New England and Boston that watch. Yeah. But how about the local guys that watch? So I want everybody to come in. So that's why I'm almost borderline want to come to this game next week, because if we're talking about two undefeated teams, because I was amazed. And earlier I was over here doing research and whatnot. I wanted to do it at work, but it wouldn't happen. So I did it here while I could be focused. And I'm looking, and I was like, wait a minute. In 2017, Rolling Meadows playing Hershey was 6-5. Yeah. Then I looked at the stats again last year. They were 10-1, a 4-win turnover. Yeah. Now both y'all going into this game undefeated. I almost can't miss this game.
It's going to be unbelievable. I mean, 2 8-0 teams, 5th-ranked Hershey, 8th-ranked Meadows. Coach Mishler, Coach Pardoon, I think that's his name at Hershey. Yep. They built these programs up. Right. And what they're doing is they're getting the younger kids involved now. Right. And that's where we come in. We're trying to build it up. And Hershey gets some of those Arlington Cowboys kids. Right. They get some of the Mount Prospect kids, the Buffalo Grove kids. Yep. Meadows gets some of the Arlington kids. We're trying to get the Rolling Meadows kids back into football. Yep. And it's all because of him. We brought our whole program out yesterday. Coach Mishler, the entire staff opened their arms, their football team. They brought our kids in while they went over their defensive schemes, their offensive schemes. They said, stand right here, watch this, because this is going to be you in a few years. Yep. And it was awesome to have. It only benefits our younger kids to go up and know what they're getting into. And he's such a leader of men, a leader. It's crazy what he's done for this program. Yeah. And it's great to be a part of, like, getting these kids now, and hopefully we keep this going forever.
Oh, yeah.
Know? And we just build that up. And he has success off these kids. Because I can tell you right now, at my son's age level and the 2 years above him, athletes left and right, just from this town alone, not even mentioning the kids from Arlington Heights that are going to come over there.
Right.
It's going to be a rivalry between Meadows and Hersey for years to come. And it's going to be awesome.
Right. I think one of the main reasons why I respect so much of what you're doing, again, I reference back to Bolingbrook because I had one of my really great friends, his name is Doyle Tunnett, he got 5 kids, all boys.
All right.
They're all playing, they all somehow played football at one point.
Yeah.
So they were all playing flag.
Yeah.
And there was one time where they had won a championship in overtime. And I could see the joy because the 2 sons were playing on the same team. And there's just so much emotion going on. And what got me was he now went from being a flag football coach that everyone is respecting to now being this Buccaneers coach that everyone's respecting.
Yeah.
And that's where I see a lot of you right now, where it's like, okay, I want to let these kids come out, have fun, but also learn to be men. And that's why I feel like that's what you're doing. And it's such a great thing here in Rolling Meadows, where it's like, okay, guys, we know that things were dead for a minute. I know you see what's going on in Arlington Heights. You said, damn, that's fun, but it's kind of far. Right. Buffalo Grove, I know it ain't no hop, skipping, and jump away from here either. And you're like, it's a good, 10, 15 minutes going down 53 over here.
Oh, yeah.
And
It's further than here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, easily. So I'm saying you're probably like, you know what? I'm seeing this too. Okay, let me get the kids. Like I said, for 64, man, there's so much, man, respect of what you're doing. I have so much respect for what you're doing. And even I don't mean to be like bringing in any kind of race or color, but as a young brother, like I understand because it's about getting some kids off the streets because, these kids nowadays will get anything stupid, anything quickly.
Yes.
So how about you take that stupidity, bring it to the field, but I'm going to turn that stupidity into positivity and make you become a man. And then when you look back at it, sometimes money don't mean everything.
Right.
If you could turn a young kid from being a quote unquote young punk to being a great young man, that sometimes is a better feeling than putting money in your pocket.
Absolutely. And I think the game of football teaches us so much lessons. Discipline, sportsmanship, teamwork. If one guy doesn't do their job, the team's not going to be successful.
That's right.
Look, I love baseball. I love basketball. I love hockey. You could get one guy to dominate each sport. Whereas football, if your guy's not blocking for your running back, you're not going to get any yards. You're not going to score any touchdowns. And they know that these linemen are just as important as that quarterback or that running back. And it teaches on so many levels, even from the youngest level to the oldest level. There's so many lessons to be learned from the game of football.
Yep.
So
I could not agree more. That's why I'm so glad you want to and explain that now. If you want to go ahead and explain to those that are either will be watching us from this area or is watching from this area, like how can they probably get their kids in the program if they want to sign up? Like, I know we get to the end of the football season now, but if they want to sign up for next year or something like that.
So we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. We hit it hard.
Go ahead and plug.
Hey, I think we're Rolling Meadows Youth Flag Football and Cheerleading on Facebook, Rolling Meadows Youth Flag Football and Cheerleading on Twitter. I want to say it's RM_flag football _cheerleading on Instagram.
Right.
We have a Google website that was just created. We're trying to make it bigger. Our cheerleading president, Joanne Berger, created that. Phenomenal to get the word out. It has all our information. It has all my contact information. It has her contact information. It has the Park District contact information.
And I said I'd help you with that too.
Yes, absolutely. Steve's going to help us too, which is
definitely
huge for us. We're first year program. We're treading water right now, trying to figure out our way. Having you guys getting our word out here, it's been amazing. We have volunteer coaches that have never coached, and some have never played football that we kind of taught on the fly. We take any type of volunteer. We can teach you what we're trying to do, how we coach football, what we do, the sportsmanship level, the leadership level. We can teach all that.
Right.
So anybody that wants to get involved, we're always there. We got a big fundraiser coming up here Sunday, December 15th. It's the Bears-Packers game.
Okay.
We're going to have raffles. We're raffling off Bears Chiefs tickets, some autographs to the Bears, and more prizes too. If you come here between 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. and you mentioned that you're here for Rolling Meadows football, we get 15% of all food and alcohol sales back to our program.
Okay.
So anybody that wants to come out, please do. I mean, we're a local program, just getting our feet right now. We'll take any kind of help we can get.
Man, that's what's up.
So
That's what's up. I'm going to keep you on for a few more minutes. I heard you are the talker of all sports. I do want to talk. Steve brought it up earlier about the Madden curse. And we just saw Patrick Mahomes go down with what they call the best case scenario that could have happened to Patrick Mahomes of the 3-week injury of the knee. But I'm sitting here thinking about all these guys that have been on the cover that got hurt. I mentioned Michael Vick got hurt when he was on it. Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Sean Alexander.
Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski is another one that got hurt. Tom Brady got hurt when he was on it. And I made an offhand comment saying that if John Madden put himself back on the cover, we're going to talk at his funeral because this is crazy. And Steve brought up a good question, and I want to bring it to you. Do you feel as if, like, these guys, when they're on the Madden cover, like, they have, like, this obligation where they got to come out and they got to fire on all cylinders and put up another 50 touchdown season like Mahomes did, and all the pressure, and they just buckle? Or
I don't think it's because they're on the cover. I just think that's just pride. You play sports, you do it. You want to do your best no matter what. You want to show up, and especially on a national level like those guys.
That's true.
You want to get your touchdowns. You want to get your catches, your runs, your yards, your tackles. And those guys, if you look at them, they're aggressive guys. They play the game the right way, hard, 100% of the time. So they're going to put themselves in situations that probably aren't ideal for their franchise.
Right.
So I'm the most superstitious guy. I'm a Cubs fan. I'm a Bears fan. Like, hey.
I'm superstitious right now.
Yeah, I remember hearing it when I was getting ready to come over here. And so do I believe in it? A little bit. But I think they put themselves in that position. And you know what? They're earning their money. But those are guys you want trying to go for the extra yard, trying to make that extra tackle.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can't tell an athlete to tone it back. You know?
That's very true.
So
that's very true. One last question, and I know you're going to get back out. One last question for you. Bears fan?
Huge Bears fan.
Okay.
Going to the game tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Glad you brought that up. Because Bears have a tough task.
Yeah.
The Saints defense, I think it's better than people are giving it credit.
Oh,
we focus so much on Drew Brees being gone and Teddy Bridgewater kind of game managing while he's out.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about the turnaround since he was left. So if we go after the loss, remember Marshawn Lattimore in the first 3 games gave up the most yards in NFL history to wide receivers.
Yeah.
Then he shut down Amari Cooper.
Yep.
He shut down Mike Evans.
Yep.
And then he shut down whatever wide receivers you want to claim from Jacksonville.
Right.
I know they really have it. There you go. and he's off to a very good start with Minshew as quarterback. How do the Bears, with no Trubisky, try to get through this Saints defense? Because I feel like the Bears are severely handcuffed in a point to where I know the Saints are going to have no Alvin Kamara.
Cook is out too.
And Jared Cook is out.
Yeah.
But you got to go up against what's the kid they got from Texas San Antonio, Marcus Davenport.
Yeah. Still got Michael Thomas. They get the ball
Michael Thomas out there. So I know the defense. The Bears defense, I don't think is what I'm worried about. I think that game against the Raiders was, I don't want to say a fluke. That's too strong. I think they caught the Raiders. I think they did what I had talked to Coach about.
Okay.
When I asked Coach earlier, when you're up 42-0 like that at halftime, what exactly do you tell your kids? Like, how do you get them prepared to come out to not lapse? Because they know that we're facing an opponent that we're kind of overmatched.
Right.
But you don't want to lapse, though, to make them come back. And the Bears did that because they were up 17-0, and they figured, our defense will take care of it. But they double-teamed Mack, and nobody else made plays.
That was it, yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking that maybe they learned their lesson from that this week. But I think that the Bears' offense, I feel if they can't get at least anywhere like more than 16 points, it's going to be tough because the Saints can score at any time, catch the Bears flat-footed. Even without having the magic of Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater has done a decent job. So where do you think what the Bears can do to really come out of this with a win? Because I really need, as a Bucs fan, I need y'all to win for the division, so I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah.
But in your opinion, what do you think the Bears need to do?
I mean, you got to play Bears defense, obviously. You got to have your defense be solid. And I know, I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming that the Bears defense is pissed after that Raiders game.
Oh, they got it.
So get back to running the ball. Get David Montgomery the ball. Get him going. Tariq Cohen, find a way to get him in open space.
Yeah.
Score some points that way. And otherwise, I mean, take your shots when they're available. Otherwise, slam the ball. Get back to running the ball like the Bears did for a while.
Yeah.
You know, you got this guy out of Iowa State, David Montgomery. If you watch any of his highlights, it's amazing.
It is.
So get back to that. Get your solid defense back. You're not going to have Akeem Hicks, but you got Bilal Nichols coming back.
Yep.
So, do what Bears do. Play defense, run the ball.
They got to. And I'm glad you brought that up because I feel like the Bears have gone away to what Tariq Cohen was to them last year. Because every time they hand the ball off to him, it drives me nuts. Because I'm like, he's not an in-between. He's like kind of like what Darren Sproles was what please tell me that's get down. All right, I'll take a double. Like Darren Sproles or some of these other small running backs. And I think that's where Tariq Cohen made his bread and money last year.
That's it.
Because you wore down the defenses so bad with Jordan Howard.
Right.
That when Tariq came out, the linebackers are tired, and now you got this little speedy guy running past tired linebackers. Yes. And I feel like Matt Nagy has gone away from that. Yeah. And so that's why I agree with you on running the ball with Montgomery. Wear these guys out. Take Tariq Cohen back in the flat. Because I felt like that was Trubisky's favorite weapon last year.
And here's the one thing I will say. I love Matt Nagy. I think what he did last year was amazing. I think he can be a great offensive-minded coach. But don't be so gimmicky. Just slam the ball. Run the ball. Don't do a 3rd and 1 to Cordell Patterson. Slam the ball right up the middle with your running back. Don't give it to a receiver coming around or throw a pitch here and then throw a pass there. Just get back to bread and butter. Slam the ball. Take your shots when you got them and get after it.
I'm with you on that. And I still don't – I look. Cordell Patterson, I think, got drafted too high when he came out of college.
Yeah, absolutely.
And no one has ever figured out what he's really supposed to be.
Exactly, yeah.
He almost reminds me of what they were doing and what they kind of do with Ty Montgomery.
Okay.
When when the Packers lost all their running backs the one year and Ty had to step in, okay, that's cool. But when your running backs are back, put him back in the wide receiver slot where he was.
Exactly, yeah.
And he's kind of like that half-breed now with the Jets. And that's why I feel with Cordell because – okay, he's a good kick returner. Okay.
Right.
He's okay as a route runner, but we want him to use all these secret plays, and he's not getting any yards. And it's just like, it's stupid.
Just don't be so cute. Just slam the ball in, get your yards, and go from there.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. All right, Terry, I'm going to let you go. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you've been doing.
Hey, real quick, when I say hi to my son, Parker. Your teammates Shay, Charlie, and Charlie are here. My wife Sarah, thank you for letting me come out and do this.
Yes. As a matter of fact, she did just say hi, boo. So, all right.
I'll take it. All right, fellas.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, the game is going on as we speak. And the Astros have a man on second base with 1 out. But Chad Green hopefully will throw this breaking ball to Michael Brantley so he can swing and miss. You try to give him some heat. We'll keep an eye on the game as it keeps going on. Man, thank you to everybody that's been watching. Thank you to everybody that has shared the show. I noticed a lot of shared streams on here. Thank you guys so much. Again, thank you, Terry, for coming on. Thank you, Coach Matt Mishler of the Rolling Meadow Mustangs high school football team. They got a big game coming up next Friday against Hersey. And then maybe at some point before the show's over, we're going to get the man himself.
Oh yeah, the big man, Mike Reppe, owner of Rep's Place.
Yes,
and I can't even begin to say how happy that we are that Mike's allowing us to use the space
easily
on a more regular basis too.
Yeah,
we're going to be doing this at least once a month from now on. So
yeah, and I tell you, like I said, man, You know how, and I don't mean to bring up personal conversation, but you know how Mike last week said, you know, I know that you've been in the restaurant game, but you're out here doing what you love to do. I feel I should say the same thing to him because, all right, that's easy. Because I feel like this is what Mike is I almost want to say meant to do for the community.
Oh, yeah.
This restaurant, how he carries things, how he does stuff for the kids, stuff like that. Because even when he was at Adobe, he used to do a lot of things for the kids and whatnot. So when Terry's talking about him doing a lot of this stuff, this doesn't shock me at all. Mike's that type of dude.
Definitely.
He's that cool dude, and he's really looking out for the Rolling Meadows community, and he's been doing a great job. What Rep's been open for what now? A little over a year now?
Yeah.
So I thought. Because the birthday was around my birthday, if I'm not mistaken, in June. So I think we were like close. I think this place is either the 15th, I want to say, and my birthday's the 14th of June.
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing the interview with him, he, it's crazy because in the first 3 months, he like tripled the size of the place.
Yep.
People love it, man. And for a reason too.
Right.
You know, I mean, anybody that's around the area, obviously in Rolling Meadows, if you haven't been here, definitely stop by. They have great burgers, awesome, events like this one, fun things always going on. But the food is ridiculously good.
It's so good.
So definitely check it out.
It's so good. Yeah, that's another thing I can tell you. Mike know how to eat. He ain't no fool. He ain't no fool when it comes to the food game. You know, like I said, this spicy barbecue is actually pretty delicious. It's like he talked to me yesterday. He was like, "What do you think of the wings?" And don't lie to me because I'm sitting here. I'm like, I could tell the way that they fried that they weren't the same as they were done at the other place. So. They're really good. I love the wings here. I keep eating them every time I come here.
Yeah, they're really good.
I've had the monster burger in the past. That's so delicious. And the mom's mashed potatoes. He said she comes in, makes them fresh like every other day or something crazy like that.
Yeah, crazy.
Those boys
so
are fast. Good. So yeah, man, Reps is the place to be right now. Doing a great job out here. We'll get him on later on. Again, the Yankees and Astros, they're game 6.
So who do you have? Who do you have for the overall? Who's winning? Who's winning this year, man? I mean, I know you gotta say that the Yankees are gonna win, but who do you think?
You know what, dude? I'm always about taking things one day at a time. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a bad habit sometimes of getting my hopes too up.
Yeah.
And then they get crushed. So that's why, like you had some Yankees fans like when they won Game 6, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna be a bullpen game." Blah 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 blah. But Game 7 is gonna be Severino versus Cole. Well, let's not talk about that until the Yankees win. I feel like it's a jinx sometimes.
Right.
Let's not talk about till the Yankees win. How about we talk about Game 6 right now, and then let's talk about. And then let's talk about Game 7. We got to win Game 6 first. We got to win this game first. It's not even a must win. It's a got to win. You know, a must win game is like, okay, to swing a momentum is a must win. This a got to win or we finna go home.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you straight up, if the Yankees do lose this game and they don't make it to the World Series, in my opinion, this is a failed season. Because this was supposed to be the year, especially with everything that went on with the Yankees, this was supposed to be the year that they were going to go out and win the World Series, and they got to come out here and save face on this. So Chad Green just walked the guy, and it's 2 on with 2 outs, and I have no idea who's up. It's Gurriel, so we'll see what happens on that. Let's get into some football picks, some guaranteed picks to go wrong. This is what I call this segment. We did not do, because I was at Rolling Meadows high school football game, we were not able to do an arch rivals yesterday.
What's the deal with that show? I see you guys all the time. How often do you do it?
2 days a week, Tuesday and Friday.
Where could they find that show?
So actually, the guy who founded it, his name is Ricky. I can't pronounce his last name, say a day in my life. But they call him The Link. He does another podcast that's called The Pain Train Pipe Bomb.
Yeah, I see that.
and he approached me. He actually messaged me one day. He's like, "Hey, we do a podcast here in it's called Arch Rivals."
Yeah. And then what happened?
Oh my God. 3-run home run by Gurriel. Stupid. All right. But what ended up happening was, and I don't know why, it's Chad Green giving up these home runs. That's the second 3-run home run he's given up. But thank God it's only the first inning. But he was like, I do this show called Arch Rivals. You want to join me with it? Sure. And we've been doing it every week, every Tuesday. We do it Tuesday to kind of recap from the week, and then we do Friday to preview the following week and review the Thursday night game. So, very interesting.
Yeah, very cool. You definitely check it out. It's
Hell
nice to see
yeah.
different perspectives of yours truly, Oso Negro.
That's right. That is right. All right, let's do some guaranteed picks to go wrong. First game, I got to write these down because I got to send them over to Ricky, as a matter of fact. I'm getting messages already. The Rams are 3-point favorites against the Falcons. That's of the I'm already writing my pick down. That's the first game of the 12 o'clock game. And dude, where was that pitch a second ago, idiot? Rams are 3-point favorites against the Falcons. I'm gonna tell you what, Atlanta is a very interesting team. I don't know what's gonna happen to them. They have Atlanta has struggled mightily, especially defensively. I don't know what's wrong with the team defensively. And Los Angeles, for what it's worth, they just went out and traded 2 first-round draft picks, and they traded 2 first-round draft picks and a second-round draft pick I take that back. It was a 4th-round draft pick to Jacksonville for Jalen Ramsey. And that deal is actually because first they traded Marcus Peters, and then they went out and traded for Jalen Ramsey. So it's kind of an upgrade because Marcus Peters was more or less getting burnt. But because I just don't buy I don't buy Atlanta. I think they stink, and Yankees are trash. This must be a Mets fan that's telling me that the Yankees are trash.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, I think Medina is a Mets fan. It's okay.
I was gonna say
It's only in the first inning.
We got some Yankees haters in the chat
All day. It's okay though. The Yankees will get those runs back. So I'm going with the Rams minus the 3. I don't buy the Atlanta Falcons. I'm gonna spend very little time on this next game. Buffalo is 17-point favorites over the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins stink. Buffalo has one of the best defenses in the game. So I like Buffalo to take it minus the 17. The next game has the Jacksonville Jaguars in Cincinnati. Jaguars are 4.5-point favorites. Cincinnati is not a good team. I'm anxious to see what they're going to do with what's his name? AJ Green, because the trade deadline is next week. AJ Green still hasn't come back from that foot ankle injury. And I'm wondering if he's healthy, but they're not playing him because they suck. Jacksonville gets rid of their best defensive back, but I felt like he was being more of a liability to the team than he was being an asset. So with that being said, I like Jacksonville minus the 4.5. Next game is Minnesota versus Detroit. Minnesota is 2.5-point dogs. I like the Vikings in this. I think the win is kind of out of the sails for Detroit. because Detroit is always finding ways to lose games, and I don't understand why. I know last week they had the bad call of illegal hands to the face, which would have made, I think it was on a sack of Aaron Rodgers, and they called illegal hands to the face. And it cost them the game ultimately. I feel what cost them the game ultimately was being in the red zone 5 times. He only scored 1 run. That's what I think. So everyone's like, oh, the referees are trying to screw the Detroit Lions. No, they're not trying to screw you guys. Minnesota kind of looked like powerhouses against Philly. I think they keep going. I think the Lions tread backwards. I like the Vikings -2.5. A game that's very intriguing. Green Bay hosts the Oakland Raiders. Green Bay is 5-point favorites over Oakland. I told you the Yankees were losing. Oh my God, this dude's an idiot. You're not a Yankees fan. So I don't know why you keep trying to tell me that you told me that they were going to lose when you're not a fan.
Well, we got to have him on the show for sure. I think it'll be hilarious.
Oh, we'll get him on the show.
Yeah, he can call in next week.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it figured out. We'll get him on the show next week, but or we'll get him on the show eventually. But yeah,
at some point, yeah.
At some point. Oakland at Green Bay. Oakland is 5-point favorites over Green Bay. You okay over there, boss? Yeah. Okay. All right. Just make sure. Give me Green Bay -5. I think Oakland had a really good win. I know they're coming off the bye week. You know what? I take that back. I'm going to take Green Bay to win, but I'm going to take Oakland +5. So Green Bay for the win, but I'm going to take Oakland with the points. Next game is the Texans are at the Colts. Colts are 1-point favorites, so this is almost borderline a pick'em game. Houston with a big win last week over Kansas City. In Kansas City, Deshaun Watson looked really sharp in that game. There we go. Now this real Yankees fan supposedly said the Yankees are trash. I don't understand that, dude. Like I'll get back to the game in a second, but let me tell you what. I mentioned this in a group the other day. Dude, I'm that type of fan. Like right now we're losing 3-0. I'm not even panicking about it. Not even. Because I know the Yankees are capable of scoring runs. I will never dog my team, especially if my team gives effort. And that's why it's so hard for me sometimes to be fans with other teams or with other fans, because the minute something goes bad, Brian, through the grace of God, that I'm doing the podcast while the team is playing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're watching it right now too.
Exactly. So, I got the game on right here, and I'm watching it. And my ability to do 2 things at once are in full effect right now. They're not the greatest, but they're in effect right now. My thing is that I have such a hard time talking to other fans, because there's some fans are just so negative about everything. I want to look at there you go, Didi. You see what happens? That's what I'm talking about. When Didi Gregorius just swings the bat to put contact on the ball, good things happen. When he's out there trying to bomb home runs, good things don't happen. That's a good double right there. Now, hopefully Gary Sanchez can do the same thing and actually take a couple of pitches. Because Gary Sanchez has been not looking at good pitches all year long. So hopefully he can come out here and do something good and drive a pitch. Let's get this run in. Let's cut the deficit. Take it inning by inning. We don't need all 3 runs back in the second. Let's just take it inning by inning. But yeah, no, it's so hard because I'm the type of fan that look at the glass half full. Like, for instance, the Knicks are probably going to stink this year. Right up the middle. That's what I'm talking about, Gary. That's what you do. Do you see what I'm saying? You ain't always got to go out and hit home runs. Just hit it back where they send it. You see what I'm saying? That's how you generate runs now. Now, I have no idea who's next after Gary Sanchez. We're going to see right here. That should be a good confidence builder for Gary Sanchez. Look at that, right up the middle. No chance in hell was Peacock or anybody getting that ball. That's an easy run. If the Yankees would have done this a long time ago, we would probably be up 3-2 and not down 3-2. But again, one inning at a time, one run at a time. That's what I'm talking about. So the fellas got a little work to do. Like the Knicks are probably going to stink this year, but I don't think that. I think the Knicks are going to be a 6th seed in the playoffs because I look at my teams with the glass half full. Never look at my teams with the glass half empty. Never. So I'm not that kind of guy, but
You got to stay positive.
I got to stay positive. And if the Yankees come back and win, I hope this Derek dude posts nothing because whatever he posts, I'm going to go right onto that ball's outside. That's not a strike. I'm going to go right on his post and I will not so much troll him, but I will clown him the entire time we're talking because he's not a real Yankees fan. I'm telling you, dude, I hate fake fans with a passion.
Oh, man, we've been talking. He's gotten a lot of airtime today.
Yeah, he has. That's because I told him to check out the show because he tries to talk about the Yankees and he's horrible at it. Horrible. So I said, come and check out my show and let me show you how to professionally talk about a baseball team.
Well,
then you should take notes.
Yeah.
And if you think you can be as good as I am, then let's talk. I know it's never going to happen. That's a tall tale to ask. But we'll see the next time he posts something. I have a feeling it's going to suck because he sucks. But like you said, we will get him on one day.
Well, I love all the fans. I
love all the fans too. There you go. Good eye. That's a ball. Good eye. Good eye. So, but back to the football picks. I was picking Colts and Texans. Colts are coming off the bye week, if I'm not mistaken. The Texans coming off a big win against Kansas City. Do I like the well-rested Indianapolis Colts at home against the Texans under Jacoby Brissett? I do. So give me Indy minus the 1. Let's see what Gio or Shelley does right here. Ooh, a little late. He was a little late. It's okay. He's a little late. The next game is an interesting game. The Arizona Cardinals on the road to take on the New York Giants. Giants are 3-point favorites. The Cardinals are 2-3-1, and obviously in last place in the West. The Giants are 2-4. They're, I think, they're third in the East because the Redskins just won their first game last week. The Giants are coming off a bye week as well, but man, Arizona really had themselves a decent day, and I'm wondering if Kyler Murray is starting to get settled in with his team. You know, I think sometimes when you put a rookie quarterback in a starting situation when he first comes in, they kind of got time to do something. They kind of got time not to do something. They try too much. They don't try hard enough, this and that and everything else. But then you got the New York Giants where defensively they still got work to do, I think. But I think Daniel Jones is giving them a spark that maybe only the coaching staff knew. You know, this is a kid that caught so much hell because the Giants fans thought that they should have drafted Josh Allen, the 3-4 linebacker out of Kentucky with their pick. Oh, why you swing at that, dude? With their pick. And they took Daniel Jones, who many people didn't think was the best quarterback coming out, but he looked good against Tampa. He looked good the week after that against Washington. I really want to take Arizona in this. I said 3-point favorites. I think I will take the Cardinals with the upset. So I'll take Cardinals.
We have some breaking news. Derek just chimed in and he said he just wrote an email to the Astros congratulating them on the winning of the ALCS. So.
Hold on a second.
And guys, share.
Wow,
share
are you serious?
Share the stream. Share the stream. Like the stream. Get our numbers up so we can get
This
bigger and
guy
better
is
guests.
not. You see what I'm saying? Fake fan. Because you know who used to do that? George Steinbrenner. When the Yankees would lose, he would always congratulate the team that beat the Yankees. And I think a little bit of that was I don't want to say a deploy, but it was like kind of like, I'm mad at you guys for losing, so I'm going to congratulate the other team in the only way that George Steinbrenner could ever conduct business. Dude, this dude is a clown, bro. I already emailed the Astros.
Full clown makeup?
You said what?
Full clown makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm talking about when he talks, the way I look at him is with full clown makeup. This dude's a clown, dude, I swear. 49ers versus the Redskins. I'm not going to waste too much time on that. I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFC. Their defense is absolutely amazing. And I think a lot of the credit needs to go to what Kyle Shanahan has done. Kyle Shanahan has done exactly what he was supposed to do, which is get the running game going. And I know they didn't have Tevin Coleman for I think like a game or so, but him and Matt Breida have taken all the pressure off of what's his name? Jimmy Garoppolo, who, oh, by the way, went to Rolling Meadows High School.
Really?
He did. Mike told me that.
That's right. That's right.
That's
the
right.
one, yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo went to Rolling Meadows, who, oh, by the way, exactly. They've taken the pressure off of Jimmy. Jimmy hasn't had to make all the plays, and their defense is flipping amazing. So, and the Redskins suck. So I'm taking the 49ers minus the 10 points. Chargers are at the Titans. Titans are 2.5-point favorites. Titans come in this game with Ryan Tannehill as the starter as they bench Marcus Mariota. The Los Angeles Chargers are coming off a terrible loss at home to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I everyone's like, oh my God, Phillip Rivers is by far the most underrated quarterback in football and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. No, he's not. He's overrated as hell, and the only thing that he can even put his hat like even claim to fame is that he beat Peyton Manning a couple times in the playoffs. I just hit the mic in. Beat Peyton Manning a couple times in the playoffs. Dude, Phillip Rivers is like, fantasy wise, he's okay.
What do you think about the move from San Diego? I mean, like, do you think people are really? I mean, from what I hear, people don't really even care about the Chargers now that they're in LA.
That's a good point. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of with that too. As a matter of fact, I don't think that any team should go to LA.
Yeah, I mean the Rams. I mean, come on, St. Louis. Move it. Why is everybody going to LA? What's the deal?
That's
with that?
the question I'm trying to find out, because I don't get it as much as you do. I really don't. Los Angeles had two teams.
Yeah, right. San Diego was a perfect spot for the Chargers. I mean,
it was
the culture. Everybody now, you have people. I mean, that's like a top rival moving to unfriendly territory.
Exactly.
Why would you do that?
They saw the money.
Yeah. Well,
They saw the money, and I think, and I think what's his name, Stan Kroenke owns the now Los Angeles Rams in St. Louis. I don't think they ever should have left St. Louis.
Yes.
I don't think they should have.
The Rams fans in St. Louis. I used to live in Missouri. They love the Rams.
They love the Rams,
and now they don't. Now they don't have a team.
No.
What the hell?
I think that's
love
unfair
football.
because the Rams never came to fruition until they were in St. Louis with the greatest show on turf. Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce. Right. You have one of the great, if not the greatest left tackle that ever played in Orlando Pacers on their team.
Yeah, I mean, I know they started in L.A., but why would you move them from St. Louis?
You went from L.A. to St. Louis. You had success in St. Louis to go back to Los Angeles because for whatever reason, the NFL is so gung-ho about putting a team out there. Meanwhile, in Green Street, if you looked at that Chargers L.A. game, freaking what's his name there were more Chargers fans at the game than there was, Steelers fans than were Charger fans.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They were waving that towel so hard at that Charger game that you would have thought the game was in Pittsburgh. That's embarrassing.
Right. Yeah.
That's embarrassing. So, I guess the Rams and the Chargers are supposed to have this state-of-the-art facility or whatever.
Well, where they're playing right now is like the best place to see football. It's a small
it's
place.
like it's a soccer stadium.
Yeah, so it's like, there is no bad seats.
Right. Because I think the Rams are playing at Trojan Stadium, I want to say. And then what's his name is playing at the Chargers are playing at a soccer stadium. I'm going to assume it's where the Galaxy play at.
Yeah, probably. I don't know for sure, but
and speaking of which, not to veer off subjects, but we watched that Seattle Sounders. I forget who they were playing against. That game was crazy.
MLS, man.
You can say whatever you want about soccer in America. I think it's becoming more popular than people want to give it credit.
Well, it's been becoming more popular. People just don't give it credit.
They don't, right? Because America acts like, oh, soccer's so boring and la la la. Oh, that's not a strike, dude.
Hey, what about the robots doing the box, doing the calls? Robotic umpires.
Well, hell, after this bogus ass strike that they just gave them, they need to go back to it.
Honestly, why don't they do that?
I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of trying to do robots in
they do it in the show, MLB the show.
They use robot umpires.
Well, in the video game, you have a strike box.
Nah,
it's the same thing. You have a camera. You can see exactly where it goes. You can see the replay, all that stuff.
I don't what you call it. I'm not. I would never veer to that.
Well, I know. Yeah, you're.
I wouldn't want MLB to veer to that.
You're a traditionalist, and I'm a technologist.
I'm a traditionalist to an extent. I believe that both leagues need to implement the DH because pitchers shouldn't be hitting. But I'm not a fan of this whole robot. You just need to find better umpires.
I think it is true that the human component to calling is important because it kind of sways things a little bit.
True.
And it makes it a little bit more interesting.
Right.
So you get a little bit more riled up when you're like, that was a bullshit call.
Right.
So I think, there's something to that. But if it was just robots, there would be no... There'd be no, that was a mistake, It would just be a real thing. Like, okay, it was or it wasn't. Based on the camera.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
true.
It might take some soul out of it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm cool with the humans. I don't want to do that robot stuff.
All right.
I don't want to do that robot stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, you came in. Yep. So Chargers, Titans, yeah. I'll take Tennessee minus the points. I'll take the Titans minus the 2.5. Saints and Bears, we were talking about it a little bit with Terry when he was in here. No Alvin Kamara, no Jared Cook, so the offense is going to be a little intact. It's going to be defense versus defense. Which team makes the one play that's going to separate the teams. I think it's the Bears. I like the Bears at home. So I will take the Bears minus the 4. Bears minus the 4. Ravens and Seahawks. The Seahawks are minus 3. I'm going to take the Seahawks at home. What's his name has been so up and down. Lamar Jackson, that it's been crazy. I think the Seahawks are just much better at home, so I'll take the Seahawks at home minus the 3. The Sunday night game is Philly and Dallas. Dallas is 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to go with the Cowboys, but I'm going to tell you what, if they lose another game, dude, Jerry Jones cannot be so delusional that he can't get rid of
Yeah, we got some comments here.
Yeah, dude, this man, somebody, he's on the verge of getting kicked out of this one group that we're already in because, you know, like I said, this man is a fake crazy fan.
It's crazy.
That's like I just said, dude, when you sit here and you tell me you just emailed the Astros congratulating them, and then on top of that, you say something else real stupid. Yeah, whatever, dude. What I was saying about Dallas was this. What I said about Dallas is
So
this.
anyway,
Right. So back to more important matters. Look at that. It's not even a strike. That ball wasn't even close. Didn't even nip the zone. If Dallas loses this game and Jerry Jones doesn't fire Jason Garrett, I'm officially convinced that Jason Garrett must have naked photos of Jerry Jones engaged in some group orgy, and he doesn't want the public or his wife to see it because there's no reason why this man is still the head coach of this team. None. Oh, none. No reason. Dallas should not be 3-3. Dallas should not have ever lost to the Jets because Dallas has veered away from what made them good. Now, I know they've had injuries with, you know, the offensive line and whatnot, but man, I like Dak Prescott. I think he's a really good quarterback, but man, you can't keep trying to throw the ball 50-something times when you got Ezekiel Elliott that's more than capable of running the football. And on top of that, you got one of the best pass rushers, 3 really good linebackers, and an okay secondary. And they gave up a 95-yard pass play last week to Sam Darnold, who was coming off of mono, and they barely touched this man, and he went out there looking like Joe Namath.
how do you get mono, by the way?
It's called the kissing disease.
So who's he been kissing, man?
I don't know, but I heard that stuff is scary. I heard, but one of the guys that I do the Arch Rivals podcast with, Alex, said he had mono.
No way.
And he was like, it's so bad that you would almost wish death.
No way.
He's like,
Really?
It's terrible. Because when you get mono, it enlarges your spleen. So I already know that and that's why he couldn't play, because one wrong hit on an enlarged spleen and it busts, you're dead.
Oh,
There's no saving you from that. No, you're gone. So he came back. You know, a lot of people were cautious, but the Dallas Cowboys made him look like geniuses, man. It was bad. So I think Philadelphia is kind of on a slump too. And now all of a sudden, if you think about it, it put the NL East up for grabs because Dallas is 3-3, Philly's 3-3. The Giants are 2-4. They're now a game back. A team that everyone thought was dead, left in the dust. They're not back. But I'm taking Dallas minus the 2.5. And then the final game of the night, of the week, would happen on Monday. It's the Patriots taking on the Jets. The Patriots are 10-point favorites.
Hey,
I'm not sure if I'm so sold on New England right now. I know it's crazy to say because you got the Jets that's coming off that win against Dallas. New England's defense is insane. I will take the Patriots to win this game. I almost want to take the Jets to win it. I would take the Patriots to win this game, but I'm taking the Jets plus the 10 points. I think the Jets are going to make this game interesting, and this game's at MetLife, so they're at home. The Patriots struggled against the Bills on the road. They struggled against the Redskins, for what it's worth, for a while until they blew it open on the road. So right to Gio. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Patriots, but I'm gonna take the Patriots to win. I don't think they beat them by 10 points. And there you have it. That's the week 7 picks to guarantee to go wrong. So anything that I told you to do, just do the opposite.
And I want to tell everybody, make sure to share the show, make sure to like the show, and leave us a review on iTunes. Really important so we can get our rankings up. I don't know if you guys checked it out, but we hit number 17 in sports news on iTunes for the U.S., which is awesome. And we couldn't have done it without you. So thanks a lot, guys. And you can find new uploads at mackandblack.com or podriver.com for all the other shows on our network, Boss to Boss, local level podcast. And, if you're looking for web design or marketing work or anything like that, my company, Intrinsic Marketing, we handle all that for you. So go to intrinsic.chicago.com. That's intrinsic.chicago.com. And I really, really appreciate you guys tuning in. It means a lot to all of us, really, we couldn't have done it without you. So thanks a lot, guys. Here you go.
Big facts. So what I had said was that the Yankees would have to get a lead before J-Happ comes in. And J-Happ is in. He's been pitching this entire inning. And I have a feeling he's going to be on here for a while. The Yankees got to get at least one more run in the second. Because Josh Reddick, I think it's the 9th hitter. And that means you're going to have Springer, Altuve, and Brantley. And Springer now has found his groove back hitting. Altuve speaks for himself. Brantley is no slouch. So, again, man, big game right now. We're actually waiting. I know Mike's busy. It's a little busy in the restaurant right now, but we'll try and get him on.
He was saying that he's gonna wrap up a little bit of what he's doing right now, and he's gonna join us.
All right. So we're gonna wait for Mike Reppe to come on. We'll talk a little sports. We're probably gonna talk a hell of a lot of wrestling. Give you a small preview what's to come in February. I'm looking forward to that show because, like, a lot of people, they're like amazed that I listen to heavy metal, but I do. Especially when I work out, I listen to Metallica a lot. And what's cool is I have Pandora Premium thanks to T-Mobile Tuesdays, and I guess I just be like, just select Metallica, and it just plays all their hits. And I realized this when I was showering, as a matter of fact, and I have one of them Google Home speakers, and I like to listen to music. So I'm listening, and I was like, "Hey Google, play Metallica on Pandora."
Right.
First, I said play the Metallica radio station on Pandora. They said it doesn't exist.
Man, did you see that they just went and they did another album with the orchestra? They did S&M too. You know S&M, where they did their songs with the symphony orchestra.
Okay, yeah.
They just did a second version of that, which I haven't even heard yet. That's going to be.
Is
awesome.
that with? That with Hatfield out of rehab?
Well, I think they recorded it before
he went in there. Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully, and Godspeed to him. You know, I know he's been dealing with a lot of recovery, and good for him though.
Yeah.
Good for him to get back in there. I don't know if anybody saw Some Kind of Monster. Did you see Some Kind of Monster? The documentary with watching them, like the behind the scenes.
Nah, I didn't see that.
You got to check that out, man.
It's called Some Kind of Monster.
Some Kind of Monster, the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
Is this something that's on Netflix?
I don't think it's on Netflix, but you could find it somewhere.
All right, I'll
check
find
it out. Check it out.
I have DirecTV, so maybe I'll find it on there. Yes, so the Yankees got out of that inning. It's 3-1. We're going into the third. The Yankees are bringing up their 1, 2, and 3 hitter. They're probably going to have to go against Jimmy James, whatever. I don't know what his name is. I don't know what his name is. The hockey season has started up. The Rangers are taking a couple on the chin. I think the Rangers really need to tighten up their defense. I hate when Georgiev and Lundqvist see like 50 pucks a game. It pisses me off so bad. Like, Jacob Trouba can only do so much, but like, bruh, Brady Shea's got to start stepping up. Tony DeAngelo's got to start stepping up. Man, they got to start stepping up the game, man. So I want to see the Rangers do better in the next couple games. Like, we freaking played the Devils the other day. This team hasn't won, didn't even win a game before they played the Rangers. They finally beat them. That's inexcusable. Plus, at the same time, the Rangers have only played 3 games in 17 days, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So they're talking about, oh, well, the NHL wanted to at least give everybody a week off. Dude, shut up. Give a whole week off. That's how guys get rusty. How you going to expect people to play like that? I think that's why they expanded the NBA season, though. Because Adam Silver didn't like the fact that they were playing a lot of back-to-back games. So to stop that, you start the week earlier and be able to spread them out. I'm with that. I can't complain about that, especially with teams who are traveling. I can feel that. All right, here we go. The Yankees, top of the third now. Telling you this is nerve-wracking, but the Yankees going to be okay. I want to give a huge shout out to head coach Matt Mishler. He was on at the beginning of the show to talk about the Rolling Meadows football team. They play Hershey this Friday in Arlington Hershey High School in Arlington Heights. Also, Terry Cappelen that was in here. He was a founder of
the Pee Wee
Football League, yeah. And he said it was kind of, it kind of was a little dead for a while.
Well, it was done. There was none.
It was done, yeah. And
brought it back from the dead.
Brought it back. He said what, from 6 kids, now 64 kids are playing now?
Yeah, and not only did he bring it back, but they won the champion first year.
First year.
Sick.
And he said it's just flag, and that's really the way to start. Start off after flag, and then.
Well, what do you think about because there's a lot of that CTE stuff. People are like weird about the tackle, but what I'm thinking is you got to learn young how to take a hit. Otherwise, you do get hurt when you actually do college, high school or college football. They do tackle.
They do.
So if you learn the technique, that's great. But if you don't know how to take a hit and all that stuff, that's a little rough. I think
that's why you have a lot of these youth programs where. So if you think about it, a lot of these kids that started off playing flag, how to block, what routes to run, what lanes to go through, how to throw a ball, how to return a punt, this and that. So until you get to those levels where you can play in pads, where they start teaching people how to tackle and stuff like that. Then once you get to high school, I feel like either you got it or you don't. And but I'm with you. But at the same time, it's going to be hard to tell people how to teach them how to take a hit, because if you get smashed and they think it's a bad hit, in college you can get thrown out for that. They call it targeting.
Right.
They've now implemented that rule in the NFL. So, there's that too. So,
well, I think a lot of the reason that the football program died, a lot of, kind of like the hesitation to put their kids into the programs is because of the fact that people are taking hits and things like that. So it is still a way to kind of get that role model and working towards a common goal type of thing. Which,
Agreed.
That's a really great thing, and it's super, super important.
Yep.
But
no, I agree with you 100%. And I worked with a lady when I worked at the Sony warehouse in Bolingbrook. I guess they read a story of some kid who had gotten a concussion from playing football. And she gonna make some offhand comment talking about, well, see, that's why my kids will play soccer. Guess what? You get concussed in soccer too.
Yeah.
All sports you can get concussed. Even in baseball. That what ended former MVP Justin Morneau's career. Justin Morneau ran into somebody's knee sliding, got concussed, and he was never the same. He had to retire from the game.
Right.
So it is not going to be the Mack and Black and Brash podcast. It's not happening. I can barely deal with you in the Yankees group. Why would I want to do that every week?
It's hard enough being in the chat. Come on.
You feel me? Snap. All right, so it's 3-1. Wow, the Yankees turned Aaron Judge loose. Hopefully Aaron Judge can recognize a ball I hate when he swings at those low sliders. They drive me absolutely nuts. They drive me nuts. So I could go, in the words of Hawk Harrelson, I go for a ball four base hit right here. I can go for a ball four base hit right here. Ball four base hit. Ball four base hit. No, that's strike two. Right down the middle of the plate. So if you're Aaron Judge, this is what I'm saying. You're Aaron Judge. You get let go, release on 3-0. Okay. You looked at a fastball right down the middle of the plate, bruh. And watch. There's a good 60% chance that if this is a slider low and away, he's going to swing at it. I'm guaranteeing you there's a great chance of that happening.
You know, I was
shook him off a couple times.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about, because we can't do it on Facebook, we can't do it on YouTube, we can't broadcast the games or anything like that.
True.
But if we did it just straight directly to the website, I don't know if we could do that. I'm thinking about that. There's got to be some way.
Yeah, I wouldn't try and risk it. Last thing you need is for the feds to come and be like, hello, my name is Agent Jones. I'm with the FBI on behalf of Fox. Dang.
Yeah, you guys are shut down. Yeah.
Like, oh no.
You guys don't want to shut down, man.
That's
you need
right.
Mack and Black in your life.
Judge is going to strike out. Well, he did. So, good. I'm telling you, man. This bullpen game, outside of Chad Green giving up that 3-run home run, this bullpen game can really benefit the Yankees because the Yankees have a guy who could pitch multiple innings to Jay Happ. The Astros don't have that. They got their starters. Well, maybe they do. Don't they have like Wade Miley? I think they have Wade Miley. Maybe. But I don't see him pitching. I don't see him pitching in this. Oh, they call a balk. All right. The Yankees get a break. Balk City.
What a shitty thing to do, to balk.
To balk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a way to go out, man.
A freaking balk. You know, I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I completely forgot that Florida State was even playing. That's how you know that Florida State right now is like not in my thought process. It's the Yankees all or nothing right now. It's the Yankees all or nothing.
You're all in. You're wearing the garb and everything.
Bro. I wore this yesterday. I'll be the first to go ahead and admit I wore this exact shirt and hat combo yesterday.
Well, you said it was good luck, so you got to keep it going.
I got to, man. And I didn't have time. I really didn't have time to really want to wash it per se, because I had to to give you a little small story, because I like to talk about things other than sports from a time-to-time basis. But my mom got my grandmother these 2 cats to kind of keep her company, you know, for what it's worth.
What are their names?
I have no idea. I should know, but I forget what they are.
You should get her on the show right now to talk about her cats. What do you think? Is that good content? Should we do that?
My mom would not answer the phone.
Why? I bet it would.
You know why? You know what though? I don't want to call her because I know she's not feeling well.
Well, it'd be better than Derek.
Oh, but dude, I'm telling you, when we get him on the show, you're going to see why I clown this dude every day.
Oh man,
you will see it. You will see it firsthand. However, I had to put this cat tree together yesterday. Uh-oh. By the time I was done, it was like 12:31. I still had to be to work at 8:30 in the morning, and I had to pick up one of my coworkers. I was like, damn.
And these cat trees, man, they're really making things difficult nowadays, huh?
This was actually kind of easy. It came with the screws, with the Allen key.
I was going to ask if the tools were included.
The tools were included.
All right.
gave me an Allen key.
All right.
Put that bad boy. It took me maybe 20 minutes to put that thing together.
I'm sure the cats appreciated it.
Oh, I'm sure they are. The little scratch tree where they can climb up and all that other stuff. I think my mom loves cats, but when I was growing up, the reason why we couldn't have cats in the house because my dad was super allergic to them.
Oh, yeah.
And then my niece, as we grew up, was allergic to cats too. So we have dogs to the cows come home.
Well, dogs are much better than cats.
But we can have cats.
Dogs are much better than cats.
Oh.
I mean, anybody that disagrees with that should probably sound off in the chat.
It's some people that love them cats, man.
Man, I don't know about those people, man. I don't know.
We got Rachel checking in and out over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think she heard what I said. Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, dude. I'm actually just shooting the breeze, watching the game, talking with you guys a little bit. Thank you for staying tuned in. I'm actually waiting on Mike to come in. I know he's out there busy. We're probably going to talk for a little bit. We'll give you a sneak preview of what the February show is going to be like. I'm really excited for this. We were going to do it as of like last week, but Mike brought up a very good point that AEW is on Wednesday. Yes!
Man, I think Mike, it is imminent. Mike will be joining us very,
I think so
very
too.
soon. He brought his lemonade in.
Okay, so I lied. I guess he wasn't called for a balk. I guess what happened is it looks like Judge tried to steal. Oh, what a nice piece of hitting there by my boy Gleyber Torres. I think what happened is Judge tried to steal, but they made him go back because Gleyber Torres had actually called timeout. All right, but it's okay. We got runners on first and second, one out. And that brings up Edwin Encarnacion, who, by the way, this should be Giancarlo Stanton, who, oh, by the way, hit a home run in Houston in Game 3. And the Yankees are undefeated when Stanton's in the lineup. Matter of fact, I gave that stat. I've been hanging on to that stat that Giancarlo Stanton has been, the Yankees been undefeated. And Derek tried to steal my stat earlier and told me he saw it on a tweet. That's total BS.
Oh, man.
Because what happened was he put up a video in this group, put my name in it. So when I was on break, I responded to his video, and the only way I know best, I take it back. Aaron Hicks is up. That's a good guy to be up there. And then all of a sudden in the group rant, he says, "Oh, no, Stanton, the Yankees are undefeated. So you're just gonna take my stat and not give me no credit for it?"
Oh, man.
Whoa!
Oh.
All right. Aaron Hicks kind of had that look like he had got a hold of it, but even he know he missed it.
Well,
so.
I wish we had some really cool intro music from Mike, like maybe some Dry Ice,
Eye of the Tiger,
something like that.
He just wants simple Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, maybe I could put it in post, But we're joined by the one and only Mike Reppe, owner of Rep's Place, where we currently are. The man, the myth, the legend. There he is.
I heard my name a minute ago.
Why did I bring your name up?
Something about AEW after that.
Oh, I was telling everybody that we were going to start doing a wrestling show in 2020, and
wrestling and heavy metal.
And heavy metal. Yes, I keep forgetting the heavy metal.
Yeah,
part.
no, you know what? We were just talking about Metallica. Did you see Some Kind of Monster?
The old movie, yeah.
The movie, yeah.
Yeah.
He has never seen it.
I've never seen it.
You have to see it,
Before we do the show, you have to see it.
Yes, yes.
All right, that's
definitely.
my
It'll change your opinion on them multiple times back and forth during the whole movie.
And give you so much more respect for what they do.
Okay.
It also shows like the I think in that one they actually highlight Trujillo, coming in the band, yeah, which is awesome. So heavy metal and wrestling.
I will most definitely check it out.
Steve's excited. He can chime in on that show.
Well, not only
Super
is
excited.
Steve excited, but Terry is excited as well.
Oh, he can't be a part of it.
You said what?
He's not coming in here. Just kidding. Terry doesn't know music. We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, I am joined right now by the owner of Rep's Place. Mike, your name has been dropped a whole lot of times. God, swing the bat, please. Not necessarily for the sports side, but all the praise you have for what you've been doing for the community of Rolling Meadows. Had a great interview with Coach. I know he was on limited time, but I told him yesterday that we went to the game, and when we got there, it was 7-0. And within us talking wrestling for 20 minutes, it was 28-0.
And then we left at halftime at 42.
42-0, right. And I had asked him, I was like, what do you tell the kids, man? Like when you're up that big, like what are you talking about? Like because you can't really be talking X and O's when you're up 42-0.
They're not paying attention.
You feel what I'm saying? Especially when you're against a team that you know that you are matching, and I mean, he was very respectable about it. He's like, yeah, because for every team that's up 42-0, you have the Bears that's up 17-0, and they pack it in, and the next thing you know, you're taking an L against the Raiders. So he was really cool, and I'm. There's a good chance I'm trying to come out here and get to that game on Saturday. God, I keep saying that Friday.
Yeah, just like last year, it's 2 7-0 teams, I believe, going into the game.
Last year, I think was not undefeated because they were
ranked ahead of us going into that game.
Because when I asked them too, because when they played them twice, they beat them once in the regular season, once in the playoffs. But last year they were 10-1. Rolling Meadows was 10-1 when they were done. Hersey was 9-2.
Okay.
This year both teams are going in undefeated.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, no, they're excited. He said his game plan throughout the whole time is just keep them kids.
I was worried about last night going in homecoming and looking past the weaker squad, looking forward to Hersey next week. First half, total domination. And even the second half, when we got back here, every time I looked up, they were just running up and down the field. And, I hope some guys got some extra playing time, some bench guys.
That's what he was saying, yeah.
Nobody got hurt. Everybody's healthy for next week. And then, hopefully there's a win and then on to the playoffs. And I think they went to the second round, lost to the second round of playoffs last year on the road. And they really should have won that game from everyone I've talked to. So I think they got a good chance to kind of make a run this year.
Yes. And then we talked to Terry for a little bit, and, he showed you, again, a lot of praise for, this place and what you do, the story behind, because you told me a little bit of it yesterday, and he, added on to it. The fact that this program started off with only really 6 kids, and now there's 64 kids, and he was like, it's just been amazing, and he's still got more room to grow, but he knows that he laid the foundation, and now he can build a house on it. And I think that was probably one of the coolest stories I've heard in a while.
Yeah, as far as I know, the program was dead for 10 or 12 years. They're just anybody in Meadows that wanted to play had to play in Arlington or Powell. There was just not enough kids. Right. And now with the influx of younger parents moving back here, now there's a lot more kids again. Right. So he just from scratch and boom, and he's just a great guy. So there's no reason to not want to play for him, with him, under him, so anything I can do to help. Right.
So we were talking a little wrestling yesterday.
Just a little.
We talked just a little bit. And I was a little upset when you told me earlier today that they did not put the IC title on Reigns and took it off of Shinsuke boring-ass Nakamura. In session of me saying that I am not a fan of Nakamura, I got at least 3 comments saying that he was so great in Japan. I just don't see it.
Then go back to Japan. And the way the show played out early, it was the beginning and the end. And you could see that Pritchard got his hand in it a little bit. We had first match, interference, 3-on-1. Like, okay, here we go, a little old school. Everybody come down and beat each other up for a while. And then the rest of the show was mellow. And then they put everyone together in a tag team. It had potential. Then they didn't give him the strap. And then there was no talk of it ever happening. It didn't build into anything. Right. And it was lame.
I don't know too, because
could have been better. Could have been a lot better.
Because I was thinking about it when of course the Yankees don't score runs when they have bases loaded. They've been doing this all series. I was thinking about Brock Lesnar winning the WWE Championship. And a lot of people are saying that Fox told the WWE that if you want it on here, we need Brock as champ. And that's why Brock beat Kofi at the first Friday Night SmackDown. My only problem that I have with is that the network is putting their hands in it. And what I'm afraid is going to happen is we're now going to have our third network angle. We already had it in ECW, kind of in the heart of their heyday. Then we had it with TNA did it with Bischoff and Hogan. Yeah. Why do I almost feel like another network angle is coming with the WWE?
It's been predictable for a while, so you're on the right path. I think.
Feel what
I know what you're saying. Lesnar is the draw for the kids right now. He's the larger than life character, right? Him and Strowman probably,
right?
And neither one of them can talk on a microphone.
No.
So, if they're going to get back to, we were talking about this either off mic or 2 weeks ago on here, but Hogan wasn't on Saturday morning shows.
Right.
You only saw him on the pay-per-views or Saturday night's main event.
Right.
But are we going to get back to that with Lesnar where he's only the prime time pay-per-view guy and then is there a point to watch the Saturday morning show, quote unquote, anymore? You know?
Right.
I don't know, but Lesnar, that whole thing, it seems weird.
It seems really weird.
And Velasquez, it's not the right time. God. It's not the right place.
No,
it doesn't
it's
make
not.
sense.
And I'm not. I don't know if. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. I'm not against them being in Saudi Arabia and doing these shows or whatever, but these shows to me, they just don't make sense. Tyson Fury versus Braun Strowman, really?
I didn't want to talk about it, but it's what's going to happen.
It makes no sense.
No, Braun is not a boxer. Tyson's not a wrestler. What are we going to do?
Right.
We're going to watch them fake wrestle each other in the corner like the Raw
because
segment?
think about it. They almost kind of dropped. Well, maybe they did a little bit drop the ball when they did this with Big Show versus Floyd Mayweather at WrestleMania. You have a guy that has no wrestling experience that's 5'6", maybe, against a 7-foot Big Show. And what you did was you let Floyd Mayweather knock out the Big Show with brass knucks, knowing good goddamn well that in real life, there is no way Floyd Mayweather is knocking out the Big Show in any content whatsoever.
No, but what it did was get, obviously, he's a billionaire for a reason, but he got the whole boxing world to watch that pay-per-view.
Oh, that's a good point.
And he's got the largest continent in the world is now getting a pay-per-view every 6 months. And there are millions and millions of fans in Saudi Arabia now watching from the beginning of the Jinder Mahal run to now doing these giant WrestleManias in India, wherever they're going for the crown jewel. But it's the same thing now. You got the boxing world again.
Yep.
And you got UFC with Velasquez doing that thing. So are they just trying to milk every marketing angle of every combat fighting thing?
Right.
Yes.
They clearly know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Vince is a billionaire for a reason.
So,
right. It doesn't make sense to us, the 30 to 40 year span fan. Like, no, it doesn't make sense. It didn't happen unless it was WrestleMania. Remember WrestleMania? The first one had Mr. T. And the second one, the Royal Rumble at the Rosemont Horizon, had 6 Bears players or 6 football players and Bears players. But they're shoving it down our throats now.
Yeah.
That stuff would just be, a pay-per-view match with these guys, cool. Now we talked about it yesterday. AEW is not shoving storylines or people down our throats yet, and they may not have to. But every week, it's Roman Reigns. You got it. They're going to push him until you like him.
Yep.
And then they're going to turn him just in time, just to build him up to turn him heel. Because once you have spent 5 years trying to get him liked, you can't keep him that way.
No,
you got to
can't.
turn him heel. So
And the only person you could have got, the only, not you could have, but they did end up getting away with that was John Cena. John Cena was the kind of ultimate heel, drop in straight, freestyle flows on everybody, making him the heel. Then all of a sudden he became the good guy, you know, hustle, attitude, respect, or whatever it is. And us, as you said, a 30, 40 year span, God, man, John Cena's boring. He's this and that. But because the WWE played to the kids, they had to keep him face. These kids were not ready for John Cena to become a heel like we were ready when Hogan became heel. Because when Hogan became heel, the wrestling was like, oh, snap. And then once 2-3 weeks he was black and white, you started getting used to like, okay, yeah, this is a crazy looking, a bad dude. He let his beard grow in with the blonde and the black and everything. Like, okay, Hogan's a bad dude. And they found silly ass ways for him to win the championship, but it was interesting. You couldn't do that with John Cena because, as we mentioned before, if John Cena remotely turns heel, you have every hate mail in the book talking about, oh, my son idolizes John Cena. How dare you make him a heel? Now my son doesn't have a hero. We're never going to watch your program again. Boom.
But I think that's what they need. They need controversy, and they don't have any. And they haven't had any for a long time.
Right.
They've been 2 PC and 2 PG, not even PG-13, just PG.
Just PG.
There is nothing that anybody can complain about from a parental side. And the kids have nobody to mimic that's dancing like Rick Rude did or shaking the ropes like Warrior. Nobody's doing anything.
Or the oh yeahs like Macho and
Nobody's giving the kids anything to talk about the next day at school. I grew up wrestling with my buddy, and my sister was our wrestling dummy. She hates me to this day. If she's watching or if her husband's watching, he'll tell her, like, we would elbow drop off the couch. We would figure 4, you name it.
Yeah.
She still hates me because of it. And the kids aren't doing that anymore. I don't think they're not. There's, I don't know. It's just we keep talking, and obviously they think they know what they're doing, but what's their target market right now?
Right.
Are they targeting kids? You can't step aside and think so. Like, Cena's gone, and they didn't put a new All-American guy in his place.
Unless Roman Reigns is trying to be that dude, like you said.
And if they're appealing to the 30 to 50-year-olds like us, it's boring.
Yep.
They've lost. The golden era fans are not interested, and they're tired of the same crap.
Right.
The kids have Strowman and Lesnar to be like giants to them, the way Big John Studd and Andre were to us.
Right.
But they don't have any of it.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope. I agree. And then I want to go back to something you said earlier where, like, you had certain pay-per-views where it was just like 2 guys wrestling. And especially one of my favorite WrestleManias will forever be WrestleMania 6. And that pay-per-view was pretty much a lot like that, where the first 2 or 3 matches, it was Rick Martel versus Coco Beware. No reason whatsoever for the match. There's no storyline. It's just 2 guys put on a decent match, move on. Tito Santana versus the Barbarian. No reason for the match. 2 guys put on a decent match, you move on. Then you go into the Macho Man and Sherry versus Dusty and Sapphire. There's a reason for that match.
Storyline, yeah.
There's a storyline to that. Then you get to another one where it's like Rick Rude against Jimmy Snuka just so we can get a match. And that's the warm-up match to the IC title, world title match when Hogan and Warrior went title for title. You don't have that anymore. You now have every match has every storyline. It's not just 2 guys going out there wrestling. That's all dead, like you said. It's all dead. And what's going to kill me about this Crown Jewel pay-per-view, it's going to be like 6.5 hours. Like when they did that greatest Royal Rumble, no way in hell was I going to watch that because I knew that. I'm like, you're talking about You just had a Royal Rumble. Now you're going to tell me every superstar that's back there is coming in? Ain't no way. And that bad boy was 6.5 hours.
All right, so 2 things before you go on. I'm amazed that you remember that WrestleMania 6 card.
Yes,
that
that's my favorite.
20 years ago.
Yes.
25 years ago, whatever it was. And then about the length, like, there's no storylines with Crown Jewel. There is absolutely nothing except Hogan and Flair getting a payday to put the worst Survivor Series 5-on-5 I've ever seen. Did you see Hogan's team?
I did not.
Rollins was supposed to be the captain, but
Right.
he had to back out because of his feud with
The Fiend.
So then announced before the main event last night on SmackDown was Daniel Bryan came out, and then they announced Roman Reigns as the captain of Hogan's team. So that was the announcement last night. And it's up and coming guys. Ricochet, Ali, I think, and good, talented guys.
Yep.
But why are you putting a Survivor Series match at Crown Jewel with Flair and Hogan? Just what?
Yeah.
They're not. The teams aren't full of legends, and that's what India wants to see right now.
Right.
So the Undertaker got pulled for some reason, and they're not happy. But he did a promo shoot with Vince today. They said so. They've been over. They're going to be over there for 2 weeks total.
Damn.
What are you doing over there? So,
Right.
I don't know, just storyline. There's no point. They're throwing this. How many what are they doing? 15 pay-per-views now? Like it's every like 25 days. So
Yeah.
so this is one of them now. It's not, there's no storyline connecting the last one to the next one. There's no point.
And the Survivor Series is in what, like the next?
It's 2 weeks after this, I think. Like
Yeah,
it's right
I was
before
gonna say.
Thanksgiving.
That's what I was going to say.
And how come they got away from doing the traditional Survivor Series matches?
Yeah, I looked at ticket prices for the full 4-day event, $250. So sit in, and to be honest with you, I really don't mind sitting up high, looking down
at the Allstate.
Yeah, at the Allstate. But $250. That's SmackDown, NXT War Games, Survivor Series Raw.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, that's a lot of wrestling.
It's
But
60-ish, $70 a pop, right? 60? Yeah.
right. But what I'm upset with, and they did the idea I wanted them to do, they didn't do the idea that I wanted to do at the right pay-per-view. War Games. When Vince McMahon bought WCW, I was saying to the high heavens, why don't you combine Survivor Series with War Games? Because I think War Games, for what it's worth, if you look at some of, and I'm going to tap into the old history again. If you look at some of the War Games, there was actually storylines with the War Games. Let's go to Wrestle War 92. It was Sting Squadron against the Dangerous Alliance. So it was Sting, who at the time was the world champ, Ricky Steamboat, Barry Windham, who's the TV champ, Dustin Rhodes and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat going against Rick Rude, Bobby Eaton, Larry Sabisco, Arn Anderson, and Steve Austin. And the reason why that made sense, because all those 5 guys all had beef. Oh, I take that back. What's his name was on that team too. Nikita Koloff was on that Sting Squadron team too. So it was Sting, Nikita, Rude, Wyndham, and Dustin Rhodes. That's who was on that team. They all had history because Rude was battling Steamboat for the United States title. Sting had beef with Nikita Koloff, didn't know if he could trust him. Arn Anderson had beef with Barry Windham, who had beef with Stunning Steve because they was all in the TV title picture. You get what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, you didn't went away from the traditional Survivor Series, but let's spice this up. Let's bring in War Games. Let's have a Raw versus SmackDown War Games, 2 rings, big ass caves to separate the two with the same exact rules. I bet you can spice it up. They did it for an NXT pay-per-view. Why? And I'm not saying NXT sucks. I'm just saying that's not something I would do with the minor leagues.
Right.
That's something you need to do with the major leagues.
Agreed. And the 2 rings as a kid, it was just like mind blowing. Like,
Yes.
why is there 2 rings? Why is there 10 guys? What? These kids have nothing to shock. They're not shock and awing any kids these days.
No.
And the kids are the people that get the money spent. As a kid, I got into wrestling about a year before WrestleMania 1.
Okay.
So when it came out that it was $9.99, Dad, buy this for me. Buy this for me. Buy this for me. Okay. Take the garbage out. Clean the dishes. I had a week worth of chores to spend the $10 to get WrestleMania 1. Same thing WrestleMania 2. It's like, it was show me, buy me t-shirts. Now it's all adults taking their kids who probably aren't that interested. We were talking about, they're not selling nearly as much stuff to the kids. They've got to get the kids involved to want to go and want shirts and want to meet stuff and have heels that they can't stand and have heroes that they can. But yes, spice it up. 2 rings, 1 old school cage that might break every time somebody hits it. You don't know if they're going to fall through it.
Yes.
And then smoke it out, and then someone else is standing in the ring like Sting used to do. They smoke it out, and then Sting, Macho Man would show up.
Or like they did when WCW tried doing it when the ring smoked and it was Warrior. When he got released finally by the WWF, and then he went to WCW, and then they tried reliving that match. That match was absolutely awful between Hogan and the Warrior. But yeah, I'm with you, dude. I feel like, and this is not a spark you can do to try and bring the fans in. Here comes The Rock. No, dude, because I'll give you a prime example why they can't do that. When Muhammad Ali died, the week after, Enzo cut a promo on Muhammad Ali's death. No reaction whatsoever. They were in Phoenix. There was no reaction. I was like, you want to know why there's no reaction? These kids don't know who Muhammad Ali even is. They don't watch boxing. They have no idea who they are. And the few people that did clap are the few boxing fans that may have seen a match, and they know that he talked crazy and they know that he talked smack, but they're not diehard boxing fans. If you would have done that in maybe like our day, everyone would have been like, praise Ali, blah, 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 this and that, because we watched boxing. We knew who Muhammad Ali was. He was still able to talk under his own power before he got Parkinson's disease. We knew who he was. These kids don't know. You can't drop a promo like that. And while I tell that story, it's the same thing that's going on now. If Shawn Michaels was to pop up and do a quick stand on the WWE, he would get a barely pop because the kids don't really know who Shawn is.
He's fallen off. Like, Triple H still obviously involved more than ever probably, but Taker comes around. Rock is in everybody's face all the time. Stone Cold has multiple TV shows.
True.
And Michaels was as big as those guys then, but he on his ranch all day long. Like, he's fine being out of the spotlight. He does everything, but he was as big as those guys for that 10, 15-year run for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to bring this up, but 4 days in Chicago right before Thanksgiving, rumors are already flying that there's big money out there for Punk. Is he coming back for Chicago? If he's coming back in Chicago.
Yep.
He's coming back for Survivor. He's already signed on to Fox for the TV show they're going to launch.
Okay.
SLC Punk.
CM Punk.
Gio!
We take a short break to cheer for the Yankees here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Punk is signed on as an employee of Fox for this TV show they're doing.
Okay.
And rumors are everywhere that he's somewhat mended ways with the powers that be. It's the kick in the pants that every show needs.
Yeah.
If Punk were to show up at Survivor Series, then Raw, then SmackDown, and have even if it's just a 6-month run to WrestleMania for something, it's what they need.
Couldn't agree more.
And I was an average Punk, yes, no. I could take him or leave him when he was wrestling. But it's what masses want.
Right.
And they always are chanting his name.
Yep.
Anytime they're in Chicago, he tweeted to The Rock. He's like, "Hey, text me from SmackDown," like he did at that WrestleMania 5 years ago.
What that got him in trouble.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say he's gonna be there, whether he's in the seats front row to be seen or he's gonna end up in the ring. I think it's time.
If his music hits, the roof of the Allstate will literally
That's
go
the
off.
reason it's worth $250 just in case that happens, to be a part of that, to be something. But and then where's WrestleMania next year? Do they
In Tampa.
Tampa again?
Yep.
Okay, so I can see it, a 6-month run with
Because that's what they did with
Orton
the-
or something.
God,
Somebody that he
yeah.
always had a good rapport with.
True.
So,
Because remember, they did that with The Rock. When The Rock won the WWE title, and then he just went with it to WrestleMania and lost it to John Cena, and then he went on his way. And people, I think, watched and enjoyed that little 6-month run of The Rock.
back to back.
Here we
I
go.
think they called it foul.
Oh,
We got breaking news.
All right, the Yankees are starting to break through a little bit here. Let's take a look.
yeah.
Oh,
Just foul. Are you thirsty? No. But I mean, do you need a drink?
Hydration.
Big ass.
No cocktails or anything? I'm just
Not till after the show.
okay.
I've
Yeah.
been partaking.
Yeah, no, Steve's been back here.
Mine might have looked like water, but I'm all right.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm
with you.
I don't want to put money on it or anything weird, but you didn't hear it here first.
So
I
do
know
you think-
everyone's thinking about it.
Do you think that that's probably why he didn't sign with AEW? Because he, like you said, he's probably trying to fix those bridges with the WWE.
If he went there, there'd be no chance. And he's not stupid. He knows the money is in WWE still.
Yeah.
He's not young anymore. If he was 10 years younger, maybe AEW is the way to go.
Right.
But now he could have a Jericho role for the next 10 years and kind of just come and go a little bit here and there. But I think it's what everybody wants to see. And he's probably the last guy that the kids really liked other than Cena.
True.
So, or could
Especially when he was doing them pipe bombs and all that stuff.
Yeah, so-
I agree with you 100%. Real quick, let's go to AEW. I'm glad you brought that up because you were talking about it last night. And first off, before we do that, I want to give to Impact Wrestling to please update your shows.
Yes.
Because I was watching Impact Wrestling and I saw a match between LAX, Santana, and Ortiz against the Lucha Brothers. And I had never been confused in 15 minutes in my entire life because I was like, wait a minute. I just saw the Lucha Brothers feud with SCU, which is Kazarian and what's his name? Christopher Daniels.
24 hours prior.
Right. And then I could have sworn I thought that Santana Ortiz were with the Inner Circle, that Jericho was with Hager and Sammy Guevara. I'm like, am I missing something? Are they in like a dual contract? And someone came to be like, no, Nick, that match that you saw from Impact was from like last year.
Yeah.
So Impact is showing last year's shows.
Are
You're not
they-
showing fresh shows.
Well, are they dead in the water at this point?
I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad that got cleared out. The reason why I bring up AEW is because you had made a comment yesterday that you said that somebody's going to get hurt. And I was a little nervous because in the first 15 minutes of the show, SCU was supposed to come out in that tag tournament and the Lucha Brothers jumped Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. But what's his name got cradle bomb on that
On the ramp.
On the ramp, and his head did not look cradle.
And did you notice that the referee did the X sign, and that's the we are not joking sign? Like he put up the X above his head, and the stretcher was out there in 2 seconds.
In 2 seconds,
and we haven't heard anything since. But yeah, I mean, they're amazing athletes. These AEW young stars, and they're doing incredible things in the ring. But somebody's going to get hurt, man. They're wild. Like and they're under control. But sometimes if you blink, you miss a sequence. Like,
yes,
they are unbelievably fast. And if you watch the pay-per-view from the Sears Center, did you see that?
Yeah.
They did like a 360 pile driver power bomb through a table off a ladder. What? How did that guy not die on the bottom of that? Like,
yes. As a matter of fact,
somebody's gonna get hurt.
In that same match between Lucha and LAX, one of the guys was trying to do it's the move where one guy's facing this way, I'm facing this way, and they do the jump flip backwards, and one's going back flip, one's going front flip. Well, the Lucha brother let his guy go because he noticed that the table wasn't far back enough, and he let his guy go, and he dropped dead on his. I swear, he dropped dead on his neck, and never came back in the rest of the match. I was like, y'all finna kill each other trying to do this stuff, man. Like, ECW so long ago, and I don't know how they didn't kill each other with some of the stuff that they did, but one of my friends is always saying that the one thing he hates about some of this wrestling nowadays, there's too many high spots. There's too many ladder jumps. There's too many through the tables. 50 chairs in the ring.
Yeah, as we were talking to another ex-wrestler and a fan yesterday, save some of these moves for pay-per-views. Why am I going to pay $50 to watch an AEW pay-per-view when their Wednesday show has all the same action?
Yep.
They're not. It's all the same guys. They're not pulling out. They're pulling out all the stops at a house show and a pay-per-view. But why am I save some of this stuff? Save the, maybe they're saving Hager for something like that.
Right.
But these guys in these crazy, man, I just, knock on wood, nobody ever gets hurt, but they're nuts.
They're nuts.
In a good way, but they're crazy.
Yeah, so, no, I agree with you on that.
But save something for the imagination for a pay-per-view.
Right.
How are Cody and Jericho going to take it to the next level next time? They're going to do it on a Wednesday show. They don't, Chris ain't got much flexibility left in his tank anyway. So, Cody's going to have to carry this spectacular match next time from a high points and stuff. But
I'm surprised that Jericho pulled out the code breaker in his match that he had on because I know that now he's got like the roaring back elbow now because I don't know why.
And that's a finishing move.
Yeah. And I was thinking like, wait a minute, can you not put on the walls anymore?
How is an elbow a finishing move?
Like you said, because Chris ain't got that mobility like he used to.
Man, how is anything? We were talking to that finishing moves, man.
Yes, so just a spinning back elbow, and all of a sudden, I'm like, you don't have enough jump to get that cold.
It's like the Big Show punch. Is it really that effective? Steve, I think we started the wrestling show 3 months early. Just
we did, and you bring up a good point because Big Show's been punching everybody throughout the match. So now all of a sudden, one pet punch come out. Like if he was left-handed and you come with a right-handed punch, okay, I can believe that. I can't believe you're punching all the time, and then all of a sudden you just one out of nowhere, bang, like they're doing with Lacey Evans, the same nonsense.
So, what do you guys want to do for the new wrestling show? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it is exactly
it's kind of like this, just we're complaining about stuff.
All right. So,
I wanted
what's
to
it going to
see
be called?
We don't.
Well, we're not going to announce that yet.
We haven't gotten that far yet.
I think
brainstorm on the air.
Let me tell you, Nick's history knowledge of it is way greater than mine. But I've been a fan as long as he has, and I'm just a mainstream fan, and it annoys me to learn everything on the internet before it happens.
Yes,
and that was part of where we were going to go with our shows.
Right.
There's nobody is surprised anymore, anytime, with the exception of the Hardys at WrestleMania 2 years ago. Like that
Great
surprise,
point.
They snuck them in the back door. Maybe Vince was the only one that knew anyway. Who knows? But maybe Vince and Hunter were the only ones that knew what was happening there. But like, just kind of the pros and cons of how things have evolved to where we are today. And I have this argument with people about Star Wars, so follow me for a second.
All right.
I hated episode 1, 2, and 3.
Uh-huh.
But I wasn't a kid anymore. If I was 7, 8, 9 years old, would I have liked episodes 1, 2, and 3 with those weird characters and Jar Jar Binks and stuff? Would I have appreciated it the way I appreciated 4, 5, and 6 as a kid? Probably. So is that the same argument now? Are we just can't appreciate the new style of wrestling because we're not kids anymore?
Right.
Is it that simple? Or
Well, I actually, side note, I saw a meme, and it was about Lucky Charms. And Lucky Charms used to have all the different shapes. Now, it's all just circles. So, as adults, can we not see the shapes because we're grown-ups?
it could be that simple.
I don't know, man.
I know. So it's just the combination of wrestling, and music, mostly heavy metal, is just our two biggest passions. And we've had long conversations for no reason. So we might as well make other people listen to it.
So what are you going to do with the heavy metal? Let's talk about heavy metal.
History.
Man.
I had this vision already with callers or people chiming in, like, give us your top 5 albums of all time. If give me your ultimate concert, your 2-band lineup. What's your favorite song from Van Halen? Like, I want to get people involved and see where we are. And let's do some history trivia with listeners and stuff like that. And same with wrestling too. Like, trivia, knowledge. And again, Nick, I probably have a little bit more of music because I used to have a 10-foot mullet down the back of my head. So
not so much anymore.
No, we've turned that around.
Will says, if that was the case, that we are not kids, the ratings would have never changed.
Well, I was actually going to say, heavy metal itself was coined by Steppenwolf. Heavy Metal Thunder was the first time that heavy metal was ever actually mainstreamed. Might have been brought up in the garage before. Yeah. But that was the first time on a record heavy metal became real.
Yeah. And then Dio with his horns and a lot of things we're going to talk about, a lot of people are going to know. But it's like we're sitting around a bar talking about stuff, Well,
we'll have to do another shot. We'll have to go to the bar with the cameras and we'll do a shot down the bar and just I think that would be an awesome segment, just a shot down the bar. Yeah. And then just have customers
questions. Just ask them regular questions or, who's your top 5 favorite bands? Like, I know mine. I don't know Nick's. And we're going to just kind of dissect all that. Who's the biggest underrated band of the 80s?
What do you think?
Stuff like
What's
that.
What's the answer? Underrated band of the 80s.
Metal or hard, like mine is Tesla, hard rock, not metal.
Oh, Tesla's sick, man. I was listening to Tesla like yesterday.
They're in my top 10. They're definitely my most underrated hard rock band. I lean towards the blues rock bands.
What do you think about? Yeah,
I love Aerosmith. Oh, the Sammy Hagar Van Halen is a lot more bluesy than the David Lee Roth Van Halen.
You're right.
Cinderella is another underrated band for me. But total blues, sleaze, blues rock type stuff. And Tesla, to me, is the number 1 underrated band for me. But from a metal standpoint, underrated, I don't know. Megadeth gets a lot of heat, but if you were to put together a 20-song set list, it's as good as anybody else's.
Megadeth is if Megadeth is what Metallica became.
Well, that's my number 1 question to everybody. If Mustaine never got kicked out of Metallica, what would they have been?
Well,
what would they have sounded like?
You can see that very clearly with Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
Mechanics.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's the same song.
It's the same song. It's just slowed down.
But how much leeway would he have gotten? Yeah, that's why, besides drinking so much, he wanted to, Dave had his own visions, and I get that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So from a metal standpoint, I think they got the worst rap out of it, for sure.
Well, I mean, Dave Mustaine and his band are unquestionably greats. Yeah. I mean, ridiculously great. What do you think about ELO?
I don't know enough about them. The 70s with the exception of, when Alice Cooper started and Aerosmith, the mainstream stuff I know a lot about, but ELO I can't answer that.
You got to check it out.
Yeah. No, the stuff that I do know, there's nothing wrong. And we met Eddie Trunk, a friend and I, we met him a couple years ago, and we both just don't understand his infatuation with UFO. And
UFO?
Yeah, he's a huge UFO fan, and that's his band, 100%.
That's strange. Yeah, that's a very obscure one.
So we asked him. We both got the double live album. We listened to it. It's not bad, but it would never make our top 10s.
Right.
And Eddie Trunk's response was, it's not for everybody. You're going to talk on all your shows that this is your favorite band and push it down our throats, and then your response is, it's not for everybody. Come on, Eddie.
Yeah, give me something better than that.
We talked yesterday. There's potential for some special guests in both of these genres down the road, hopefully. A lot of, like I said, trivia. That's my vision. Just kind of BSing and top 10 lists for everything are always fun. So,
just a little bit of kind of side note. The last time both of you guys came into my house, I was always jamming. I think for both of you, it was Judas Priest. I remember.
Yeah, you had a mix on when cause it was like a little Judas, some Black Sabbath.
Yeah, Black Sabbath, definitely.
Yeah, no, it was a little Metallica. It had like that little mix in it.
Right, but that was unintentional. And whenever I have other people into my house, nobody ever comments on the music. Like, you guys are like,
turn that up. Turn that up.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
June. So that's what's up.
And again, such a shock. Nick told the story a month ago when we were here. He started working with me 4 years ago, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm walking back to meet the new guy working in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And all I hear is Enter Sandman blasting from the dish area.
Definitely.
And then I see Nick, and I'm like, whose music is this? And he's singing and headbanging in the back of the kitchen. And I'm like,
on a busy ass Saturday night,
no
nonetheless,
way.
too.
Who is this guy? And then I'm asking Dustin, who is this guy? He's like, oh, it's Nick. I'm like, he's listening to Enter Sandman right now. And
well, I don't think that he realizes, but I can hear when he pulls up because he's jamming 95, 99% of the time. He's jamming some hardcore stuff.
Yeah. All right,
Before he walks in.
This gets me on my
you asked me the question, Steve. Who's your most underrated 80s band?
Yeah.
Damn. Because you know what band I do like that I don't think a lot of people like is I've always been a huge fan of Damn Yankees.
Supergroup from the late 80s, early 90s. They might have been in the 90s, but
I think they're early 90s. 80s?
that's a good hard rock. Sure.
80s is a little more difficult for hard rock.
I think 80s is a little difficult for me though because I was born in 83.
Oh,
so I didn't start really getting marinated into the game
so
until
the
like
mid-90s.
the mid-90s. Yeah.
Right. So I'll be able to educate you on the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to put
You know,
me
and I
on.
have this argument with people a little bit older. I tell them, Master of Puppets, that album changed everything.
What about Quiet Riot?
It's funny you bring that up. That was the first 45 record I ever bought and conned my gym teacher into playing it while we were doing our laps and stuff. And Catholic school, right off throat, get this thing out of here, great. Not enough credit for what them and Twisted Sister for the early to mid 80s.
Right.
The anthems that they put on, the MTV era. I grew up, that's what a lot of what we can talk about is the MTV era for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
But Damn Yankees, yeah, man. I mean, good, but metal, on the metal side of the 80s, what do you think? But again, another question is what album changed the face of metal or changed the game?
But I mean, it's not fair to do that. It's not fair to do that. You have to specify a year.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, in my opinion, that album changed the game. Everyone else knew we better step up.
Yeah.
And then you got Motley Crue putting on worldwide. Everyone kind of tried to follow in their footsteps.
Right.
Well,
Because You know what my problem was, and I've been so put on, and then I have to go back and look. I used to think because of when I came up in the game for metal that Metallica's Black Album was the best album they had put out. It was my favorite album with Enter Sandman, Sad But True, all the other hit songs on there. And a buddy that I worked with at actually my buddy that I went to school with, he used to always be like, "Nah, man, that album is trash. You have to listen to Injustice for All. That's the best Metallica album."
Ride the
I was
Lightning.
like, really? But then when I started working at the pizza place,
and then the one.
yeah, because then when I started working at the pizza place, the other guy that used to be in a band said the same thing. He actually went and saw a cover band called Injustice for All that pretty much plays all the Metallica hits from that album. So I'm like, okay, I'll work out and listen to this. Because I got introduced when I had internet radio.
Yeah.
This guy said that one of the first albums he bought, because he had $10. Either he could take this girl out, or he could buy the Metallica Battery album that was on the vinyl, and he ended up buying the album. And I heard that song. I'm like, this song is freaking great. Battery? Okay, okay. I know it's not on the Injustice for All album, but now I'm finna go check it out.
Yeah.
I've never been amazed before in my life. Because it starts out with
Puppets album?
No.
Injustice for
All.
It starts out with
Blackened.
Blackened.
Yes.
Then One. Then The Shortest Straw.
Yes.
And I'm like,
and it's a story. The whole album is a story.
yes.
All the way through.
Remember this for next year when we start the show. The story of the Black Album from me in high school. It's a great story, and I want to save it for the show.
Okay.
But
all right.
Can we all agree that I know it sounds like are they your favorite band too?
I wouldn't say no. Honestly, Metallica is one of the greats that I respect and will always hold at the top. But Chris Cornell is my favorite artist of all time.
Okay, so Metallica's our favorite.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of our show should be based around who else is out there, because everyone's going to know. Metallica's going to end up in the conversation.
True.
Yeah, we compare everything.
It's unfortunate, and also, whenever we do these types of things, we have to kind of be away from commercialism, because everybody wants to say, "Oh, Metallica," But I mean, if we're going to talk serious about Metallica, then it's cool. But if we're not then
because let me say this, now that I think about it, when I was like kind of knee deep in the 90s, Ozzy was solo.
Yeah.
And he was winding down. He finished with No Rest for the Wicked was big in the early 90s.
Right.
And then he did one more, and I can't remember which one it was. But then he kind of went a little quiet.
Right.
After that.
Well, he did his best work solo.
Well, when he because he did Mama, I'm Coming Home. That's the song that made me fall in love with Ozzy.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, this one of them rock ballad, quote unquote, type of song. Okay, I'll dig with it. But then I started learning, because I don't even know how I ran into Black Sabbath. Yeah. I just know, I was like, wait a minute. How come this sounds like Ozzy?
Who's singing that?
Yeah, I swear to God, I was like, this sounds like
Lita
Ozzy.
Ford and Ozzy did a one, When I Close My Eyes Forever. One of the greatest songs by Ozzy ever.
Yeah.
You remember that song?
Oh, yeah.
It's such a great, two powerhouses at the same time, at the height of their,
There's a show on Access TV. Do you watch the top 10 list show?
I don't watch anything but Mack and Black.
All right. Me neither, but I caught this one show this one time. Access TV does a top 10 list, and it was top 10 collaborations. That was number 4 on the list. Ozzy and Lita, of all music genres of all time.
Of all time.
It was number 4.
It's literally, honestly, it's one of the greatest songs ever made. The way that they structured that song and the content of the song, and then also you have to put into play the audience of who was listening to that song and the time that it was out.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing song.
He just got done with the tribute album, and then it was No Rest for the Wicked, I think.
Yep.
At the same time, she just came off Kiss Me Deadly had to reach the top 10 on the charts. And then they dropped this song between the two of them. I agree 100%. So I'm glad Steve will have a lot of input on
I have a
on
lot
the
of
music side too. But
keep going.
let's work
100%.
on between now and
100%.
January. We're going to work on your top 5 bands, your top 10, underrated, overrated. I still don't understand the whole UFO craze from Eddie Trunk, but whatever.
Yeah, what's up with UFO? What are the
Doctor's probably their biggest song, and I mean they've done a lot. And
give me the news?
it's not. I don't know. I don't understand it. But again, it's okay. It's like listening to.
That's elevator music.
It's like
man.
listening to the Counting Crows. You can listen to it, but you're not going to remember it.
You're not like, oh my god.
Well, that
Counting
doesn't.
Crows.
The oh my gods don't happen anymore. Music's.
They
don't
do
even
though.
get me
They
started.
do though.
No.
I think that
No,
it's our
not
job
new
to
music.
figure out what we can put together with what's happening now and what was, because that's what the A&R guys are doing. They're all just trying to
Nick,
collaborate.
Nick, can you name a band in the last 5 years, new band, that you're like, wow, those guys have a chance to really do something?
Nah, because I think a lot of the new bands aren't that good.
Have
I
you
really
ever had? Obviously, you guys are Led Zeppelin fans. Greta Van Fleet.
Don't say it. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, of
No,
course. That's a copy.
I can't.
But they're amazing.
Have you heard them? They sound like a modern day version of Led Zeppelin.
Who's
Greta
that?
Van Fleet.
Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah.
But we already have a Led Zeppelin. I don't need another one.
Right.
I can't do personally. I can't do it.
And have you looked at their promo posters? Have you seen any of it?
Not recently.
They got bow ties around their heads and strings around everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere where they shouldn't be.
Probably.
And but that's literally the only band that I've ever heard copying Led Zeppelin that did it correctly.
I respect them for. They are a mirror image of Led Zeppelin. I'm not gonna.
I mean,
They're good,
but to the
but I
point
don't need
where
another one.
Right.
to the point where, as a Led Zeppelin fan, I'm a fan of them because they're carrying the mantle.
Sure, I get it. I understand. I just personally, I'm okay with one Led Zeppelin, but the best bands in the last 5 or 10 years for me are these super groups that were popping up everywhere. The Winery Dogs with Portnoy,
Yep.
Billy Sheen,
Yep.
Richie Kotzen, and then Portnoy was on the first Adrenaline Mob album. Do you hear that first
Yep,
one?
yep.
I think I might have actually given it to you back.
Yep.
That's probably my favorite album in the last 5 years. Oh God, what did Rex Brown just get done? Kill Devil Hill. These super groups or collaborations. That's all of our guys.
Yeah.
Doing new stuff. They're still keeping the hard rock and metal alive. I can't get that.
Have you guys seen that Johnny Depp is in a super group with
the Hollywood Vampires?
Yes, the Hollywood Vampires.
Have you seen that?
What are your thoughts on that?
Joe Perry, Alice Cooper, Johnny Depp.
No way.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's sick.
It's
pretty
good.
it's sick.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's good. It's bluesy. It's got a little
It's
bit
got
of
everything. It's got everything, man.
Think about Aerosmith's blues.
Right.
And then you got Alice. And Johnny's just there for the ride. So it's not bad. I mean, it's
all right.
It's
All
good.
right, I'll
It's-
check it out.
but
I'll check it out.
new music is everyone's,
You got to check it out, though.
no, I know. I'm just,
you have to.
I try. It's just not, it doesn't hold up. It won't stand the test of time.
It'll never stand the test of your memories of the things that you love.
No. But-
Until 10 years from now, you'll look back and then you'll be like, wow.
well, when I was in high school, Zeppelin was already 20 years old. And,
yeah.
And now we're 45 years later, and that music still stands the
Well,
test.
that's fucking
Today's-
timeless, man.
But
I mean,
I think
you can't
a
even
lot of
age
80s music
Zeppelin.
is that way.
Yep.
I think I wasn't a fan of the grunge when it took over. I respect that 92 to 97
Yeah.
a lot
And,
more
yeah,
now.
and that's kind of where I
I was
came
listening to Temple
Yeah.
of Dog today. Like,
Oh, wow.
They play Hunger Strike. Not
Temple
only do
of
they
Dog,
play Hunger
baby.
Strike at
Yes.
Mod, I sing it at what you call it, karaoke, and I'm doing Cornell's part.
Well, yeah, and that's
doing the
impossible,
Cornell
by the way.
No, if you practice enough,
Yeah,
you can
if
do
you
it.
are, you need a record deal. I'm just saying, Chris Cornell is honestly one of the greatest, and it's not even about what his musical thing was. It's just that sound.
The passion. You could feel the passion.
Serious. You
could
know
feel it.
that's Chris Cornell. It's like Jimmy with a guitar.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that's its own thing.
Look, don't get me wrong. I want to and I want there to be new, good music all the time.
Yeah.
But it's just not happening like it did 20 years ago.
Nope.
Or 30 years ago now. I mean,
yeah.
there's never going to be another Motley Crue.
Speaking of the devil, I saw a video of Motley Crue, like Vince Neil trying to sing. This brother was not singing for water.
That's a whole nother conversation. That is a whole here. I just had this idea while we were talking. Why don't we, if we ever do the show from here, because of the space, let's do a game show. Heavy metal trivia game show.
Oh, I'm
we're the hosts.
Well,
and
okay, I have an idea. Why don't we bring in the local musicians to play the
Name
riffs?
that tune.
That's one of my favorite game shows
the
ever.
local musicians. Hold on, let me put my camera on me. I want you, the local musician, to come to Rep's place, and I want you to play the tune. We're gonna do a play the tune segment. And you're going to do it good or you're going to suck and everybody's going to be looking at you. So let's do it. Let's do it.
No.
It didn't read right.
All right.
I'm in. I think we can. Yeah, I think we could do hey, let's do a Survivor Series heavy metal trivia. Steve's the host, and we put teams together to answer questions.
We'll do a voice. We'll do the voice. Your team blue, your team red.
I'm loving it.
Or whatever color
it.
you'd like.
So, what was your first? I don't know how much longer you want to go. What was your first metal album that you ever got your hands on?
It had to be Metallica Black.
Yeah.
It had to be Metallica Black.
You actually had that album?
I had that album. Like, I bought it with my own money.
What age?
And here's the thing, because with me being black, it was a little difficult. and laugh if you want to.
I love laughing at that. You're black, and that's the thing.
But see, here's where I'm going to try to explain to you.
All right.
My family had a difficult time with me listening because it's all about R&B and this and that, and they used to always come at me with that. Oh, why are you listening to this? White people music.
Yeah.
But thank God for my uncle, because my uncle is like me. He listened to everything.
He's just a normal dude.
He just didn't listen to the R&B.
He didn't give a shit about what we thought.
I would hang out with him a lot, and then he would introduce me to the grunge and all that stuff. So then I started getting into like the grunge and stuff. So like my first metal album, because I realized who Metallica was, because I loved Enter Sandman, was Black.
Yeah.
But then like my first like grunge outside of the R&B stature, and I still listen to the album to this day, thanks to Pandora Premium.
Pearl Jam 10.
It's Green Day.
All right. So listen,
I love that album.
I think there's a good way. There's a good thing. So listen, you guys both had an experience. What did you feel the first time you felt and heard Nevermind's album by
Nirvana?
Nirvana.
Because that was another band. Because at that point, Smells Like Teen Spirit was the hot hit.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah, this song's pretty decent. And then after that, they came out with.
But I mean, where were you?
Lithium, I want to say.
Yeah. No, that was just a song. Yeah, but where were you when you heard it? Where were you? How did you feel about it?
I think MTV was still MTV at the time. So
right.
I think I saw the video first, and the jam with the drums at the beginning. I was like, wow, it was a heavier grunge song. So
Yeah.
it kind of was a crossover.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was okay with
Yeah.
that song. But that was it. The rest was dark and slow
Yes.
and methodic, and that's just not the way hard rock. I mean, think about Aerosmith.
It was something totally different.
Van Halen, all their songs are fun and summer
Right.
and girls, and
Because think about it, my first Van Halen song that I like, because like you said, when MTV was Jump.
Yeah.
Then
you were like 2 when that came out.
right, but then I'm like, oh man, this Eddie Van Halen guy, this guy's pretty good on the guitar. But then, because that's kind of that transition where they kind of got rid of David Lee Roth and Sammy came in. Because then the next Van Halen song that I really like and I still love to this day is Right Now. I love Right Now. That's probably my favorite Van Halen song.
Well,
That's your first Sammy like? You didn't like the first 2 albums with Sammy?
No, that was not Sammy like.
Sammy did some really serious shit.
Oh no, I'm not denying that in any way, shape, or form.
OU812 and 5150.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Top to bottom, both of them.
I
5150
can't try 55.
5150 with Van Halen is probably better than OU812 from top to bottom.
Right.
But the Red album, there's a hit. Every song's a hit.
I'm gonna check it out.
It's a pop. I mean, that's Right Now is off that album. Like
Right.
every song was radio friendly, was concert friendly, the whole thing. But back to your Black album was the first one you got.
Right.
Mine was the cassette Shout at the Devil.
Oh.
Okay. Now
Wow.
my cousin who was actually in town today randomly, and I saw him. He's the one that really got me into hard rock and metal. But I was into Beastie Boys, Run DMC, and Michael Jackson prior to that.
Oh my
Right.
God.
So-
oh my God. Listen, I have to stop you.
No. Let me. This is a good story.
All right. Continue.
So
my bad.
I quickly got out of that, and I still can listen to License to Ill and Raising Hell all day long. Great album.
A whole show about that.
But
A whole show.
I'm like, all right, I'm going to take the next step. And all right, Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, sure. And my cousin's like, no, man, you got to get into this British wave. And I'm like 11, right? I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's 1986. It's like, no, you got to get into Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Motorhead, all the, and I'm like,
Lemmy.
I'm like, what? Who? What? So Priest, Maiden, no easy transition into that. But yeah, so that my first album that I bought with my own money was Shout at the Devil.
Nice.
And I still have
Man.
the cassette jacket. I lost the tape a long time ago, but I still got the jacket for sure. But my Metallica story I'm gonna save for the actual show.
Yes, sir.
We could talk forever and ever. We could go all night with this.
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
so.
Oh
Man. This is really
Yeah,
good
dude.
stuff, man.
So
Right Now by Sammy. Yeah, that's what really got me into. And then that's when I started getting into like you talk about Chris Cornell, because Black Hole Sun ended up being kind of like the main hit. And that's because I watched MTV. You know, and even for what it's worth, because BET was in the same boat where like my cousins used to always watch a lot of they watched a lot of the BET, but like my uncle and I, we always used to watch Remote Control. I don't know if you remember that show.
Yeah.
That used to be on MTV. I used to watch a lot of Remote Control, and I thought that used to be one of the most awesome shows ever.
Well, that's because what's her name was on it. Was there a female or what show am I thinking of?
Oh, there was. I don't know what her name was.
Not
Daisy Fuentes.
Daisy Fuentes.
First thing, yeah, dude.
Yes, Daisy Fuentes.
She's so smoking hot.
Probably
So
Super hot. Honestly, she was the queen of the.
for back then.
Yeah, she was the dream queen.
Yeah,
was
she
that
was.
Colin
Yeah,
Quinn
Daisy
show?
Fuentes.
It was. And I remember
Yes.
when he died, they played like straight Remote Control on MTV the day he died.
Yeah. So like Pearl Jam 10.
Pearl Jam, there's another
Pearl
one.
Jam 10 was our junior year. Like buddies of mine weren't into metal as much as I was, but we wore that tape out. We wore the Black Crowes' first album. We wore that tape out.
Yeah.
And then Soundgarden was a little heavier than my buddies liked, you know.
Yeah.
But Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit was eye-opening at the time.
Right.
But it didn't. It just went dark and down after that. So,
Yeah.
But then you said Green Day Dookie. Those first 2 Green Day albums really were upbeat and just fun punk, grunge rock and roll. It was,
For real?
it was
Well,
cool.
the album art itself for Green Day Dookie was in itself an amazing thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had that, but that was one of my, main albums that I had.
They probably put what 3 or 4 different genres into that album.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Punk,
Brain
rock,
Stew,
rock,
everything.
I mean,
it
was
was
nuts.
ridiculous. It was such a great
Ska, they had a
album.
little bit of ska.
Little
in there.
Scott in there. Yeah, dude.
And the different tempos that they would put in
All
different
over the
songs. It was all over the place.
Loved
it was,
it. Absolutely loved it.
super amazing.
So I just want to get your
Amazing.
listeners excited about this, and let's gain a whole new
Let's do
set
it.
of listeners, and we're gonna do a lot of cool stuff set up for call-ins and talk trivia and metal history.
Yeah.
Metal 101, we'll call it. Maybe that'll be the name of the show. I don't
We
know.
do this every fucking day, man.
Yeah.
Listen, okay.
But when we do it here, we're gonna get a game show together of some kind,
Nice.
and like a Family Feud. But whoever buzzes in first, they get to say their answer. We go from there.
You know, they used to have those things in high school when I was in high school or middle school, where like everyone had their own buzzer, and then like I forget what it used to be called. Like it was like Scholastic Bowl, I guess that's what they call it.
Let's see if we can get that set up, and we
got
go
to, yeah.
smacking on
Everyone's
that
got like
stuff.
their own little buzzer. Like yes, Jim. Yeah, dude, name that too, because I freaking love game shows coming up in the 80s. I used to love staying home from school.
Oh, yeah.
And being able to watch all the classics. So Name That Tune was forever one of my personal favorites.
Yeah.
Should
With
we,
old
should
good
we
old
explain
Jim
this
Lang?
into 227 and all the other shows that would be
That
on.
band they had used to always
Everything.
be
What
on.
was the one with the whammies? No whammies, no whammies.
Press Your Luck.
Press Your Luck, favorite.
Man.
And you know what? ABC pisses me off because they tried to revamp it. They did it at the wrong time. They tried to revamp it during the NBA Finals. So at times when they were supposed to show the show, they couldn't do it because contractually they had to play the NBA Finals. I'm like, you guys are idiots. Why would you do that? Why don't you wait till after the finals to freaking show the show? That would probably been a great time to do it.
For sure.
And can Elizabeth Banks really be Peter Tomarken? Really? Can you,
No.
of all the people you could have found out to be a host of the show, you
Elizabeth
picked Elizabeth Banks.
Banks is pretty fucking hot.
She can do a lot of things, but
I'm
she's
not
not.
saying
Lots
she's
of
not
things.
pretty. I'm just saying she can't be a game show host of one of the greatest game shows that's
Well,
ever been out there.
I'll tell you, that's not necessarily true because Allison Hannigan, which is the Bandcamp girl, she did the hosting for Penn and Teller's joke show.
That was a show.
Yes,
I never heard of it.
no, I mean it's like 30 seasons.
Oh Jesus! All right, so
It's pretty
I'm
damn good.
gonna have finally a reason to wear all my heavy metal T-shirts.
Yes.
I got
Oh
like
my God.
150. I got a whole closet wall.
Are you gonna get some piercings for this?
Oh
or-
no! I've just finally got a platform that it'll be appreciated in.
Platform
That's,
shoes?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't
The
have any.
goldfish?
No, maybe like the.
All right.
So
Yeah, we'll
I'm gonna
figure
get
it
back to it here.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm finna end the show here because this game's getting intense.
You guys are fucking awesome.
Gio Urshela's up. He already hit a home run.
What do we got here?
The Astros are taking
Top
him to
six, one out, run
top
out.
of the sixth, one out, run on first. Scary, slow ass Sanchez, but I'd rather be one runner than no
All right,
runners.
Nick.
All right,
I'll
I'll
see
see you
you
in a little bit. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to end the show. Thank you for everyone that's watched the show. Thanks again to Coach Matt Mishler, Rolling Meadows, Hershey, Friday, 7 o'clock. If you're out here in Illinois, you should probably come and check it out. Big shout out to Terry Cappelen for coming on, talking about Pee Wee, Rolling Meadows, Pee Wee football, flag football. Remember, check them out on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. Thanks to Mike Reppe, Rep's Place again for letting us do the show. And the last thing that I really need to say here is go Yankees. And I hope there's a game 7 tomorrow. And we can do the improbable and beat Garrett Cole. But we got to beat the Astros bullpen first. So For Steve, Mack, who's in New York, enjoy yourself. I'm also Negro. I will see you guys next Saturday.